get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open. I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, you done been through enough, I would say. Energy different, the frequency change. My third eye is open, I don't see the same. I am not playing, I don't rap in the game. I am my affirmation manifest. My third eye is open, I can see past the commotion. I can't get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open, I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, you done been through enough, I would say. Energy different, the frequency change. My third eye is open, I don't see the same. I am not playing, I don't rap in the game. I am my affirmation manifest. My third eye is open, I can see past the commotion. I can't get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open, I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, you done been through enough, I would say. Energy different, the frequency change. My third eye is open, I don't see the same. I am not playing, I don't rap in the game. I am my affirmation manifest.
Peace, 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 family. Shadow Work Sundays, once again, another amazing, time to vibe with the Soul Tribe and to connect and to grow. And obviously, as you can see on the screen, we have amazing divine feminine energy, very strong, very powerful, and very knowledgeable and intelligent. We have Adama. So I am honored to present her to you today on this episode. And this is how we are starting off the year. I say.
Peace, family. And peace, Adama. It's a pleasure to have you.
Greetings.
Pleasure to have you in this space.
And we are doing amazing. I have really been tapping in on this liberation, on this freedom. Just knowing this is what we're coming into. You know what I'm saying, and really just connecting with self. But before we dig in, before we go into the subject, I like to play the heart chakra singing bowl to really just open us up and get us aligned on the same frequency. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do that for a second. So if you want to get into a meditative state, get comfortable. You have certain breath work that you want to do. This is definitely the time to do that, to open yourself up for the message that to be received. I say. I say. So once again, much gratitude to Adama for taking out her time and for coming here today. And so family, this episode is actually titled Liberation, 100% inspired by Adama. And so what we're going to do first, we're going to start off with the etymology and the definition. And then we're going to get into Adama's definition of liberation. Then we're going to go from there.
Mm-hmm. So liberation is defined as the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. Release. So that's pretty heavy just in the definition. Right, run it back one more time. Yeah, the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. Release.
That's it.
Yep. Then we'll get into the etymology. Yep, or the origin of that word. In quotes, the act of setting free from restraint or confinement, and it comes from Old French, And it's directly also from the Latin liberation them, which is a setting or becoming free.
Okay.
So
And then
very,
here we
very
go.
heavy on being released, being set free.
And then we're going to go into Adama's definition of liberation.
Yes. Liberated means the intelligence of our being was completely freed so that we function as intelligence does. Ooh, that's heavy. That's powerful.
Can you read that one more time for me, brother?
Yeah, of course. Liberated means the intelligence of our being was completely freed so that we function as intelligence does.
I say. And so at this point, we would definitely love to know more. Know more about what liberation means to you, and what areas of liberation are we speaking on tonight?
Well, the issue is this, is that we've been under cellular oppression for generations.
Mm.
All right, the methodology of our oppression has been to oppress our cellular functioning. Now, we're made with trillions of cells, brain cells, liver cells, skin cells, eye cells, and whatnot. So at this particular point in juncture in our dispensation, liberation is not something that we have ever really had a full conversation about, because we've not really explored the tenets of our oppression. Now, what we see is those who have been brought up, and by 21, we're labeled adult. Adult is short for adulterated, no longer what the creator intended. We know shame and shame and guilt and blame and all kinds of things that we don't discuss with people. By the time you put 21 more years of adulteration on top of the first 21, then your body is beginning to show the wear and tear. By the time you finish 7 cycles of 7 years under adulteration at 49, the death gene has been activated. All right. So liberation for where we are, as we have become the cash cows of multi-trillion-dollar industry in sickness, disease, degradation, depression, violation, incarceration, inebriation, intoxication, violation, rape, murder. You understand? So that have been funneled into this under the belief that we're supposed to die from something anyway. So we have been fed as kids coming forward on breakfast cereals, cow's milk, hot dogs, hamburgers, all of this artificially colored, artificially flavored, NutraSweet, aspartame, whatnot, so that liberation means that we are liberating ourselves from so much garbage that has created all of the sickness, the illness, and the disease, the obesity, the cancer, the heart disease, the sarcoidosis, the lupus, the AIDS, the HIV, the HPV, all of this issue that we have because of the oppression of our cellular functioning, because our cells are carrying the paste that comes from flour and water, pancakes, waffles, breads, biscuits, toast. By the time you look at the mucus from the aborted fetuses of chickens, all of the eggs and the cheese and whatnot, which is why we're having the breast cancer and having our wombs removed. All right. So liberation is a necessity for where we are if we will align ourselves with the intelligence of existence, which is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. It's beating our hearts. It's breathing us. There's purpose in being on the planet, but our socialization has never given us an orientation that there's purpose in being on the planet. And those who took responsibility to give us an orientation as to what success is in life never took the time themselves to discover what purpose in existence upon the planet actually is. So our education, our religious indoctrination, our socialization, by all intensive purposes, has been in death culture, where we have been taught to believe that we're all going to die somewhere, at some point. You've had those who have been so silly, as is to say, from the moment you're born, you die. You're beginning to die. And so I'm saying, no, you're living as this point of an absolute and supreme intelligence in a realm of existence that is already eternal. We've come from another realm of eternity into this realm through the wombs of our mothers, sparked by the divine sacred fluid from our fathers. And we are on a planet that is a biosphere galactic spaceship spinning in eternity. But then we've been taught to believe in death. And we've been taught to believe that we're all supposed to die. We're just spirits having a human experience.
Right.
And there's no real purpose in being here other than the experience. So we can have whatever experience, but when you're fed like kids, when you have not been loved, when you have not been socialized, when you have not been nourished, when you have not been really supported in optimum cellularly functioning,
Right.
ever in your life, that you have been oppressed from before the womb with toxic sperm and toxic eggs. So at this particular point in juncture, liberation has to happen at the cellular level so that we are liberating ourselves from the residues of the flesh of pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken and alcohol and tobacco and artificial flavors, artificial colors, all of this pesticide, herbicide, larvicide, all of this shit that is creating all of the disease that we are experiencing and seeing our family members taking medication for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for this, that, and the other, having to run their body fluids through machines and dialysis. I'm just saying, liberation means that you are cellularly liberated by your own effort. It's not going to come through legislation.
Right.
It's not going to come through education. It's not going to come through getting out and voting for somebody. It can only come by virtue of your clearing, cleansing, consecrating, purifying, renewing, and rebirthing by bringing the earth into your actual physical body. We're on a planet that has the minerals. We're in flotation and rotation under the sun that has been blazing for we don't know how long. There is no sign or evidence of death anywhere around us, and we're made out of the same stuff. So liberation is liberation from the lie that you're supposed to die. Liberation is the cellular liberation through the clearing and the cleansing that allows you to be restored as intelligence in a body charged upon the blood. All right, the spirit is charged upon the blood. So the cleaner the blood, the greater the clarity. The methodology of our oppression has been to create a bloodstream that is filthy, which is why people's heart attacks them. Your heart would never attack you. Your heart is the altar of the body that is the temple for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living gods and goddesses.
I say.
All right, but we can rhetoricize, we can philosophize, we can hypothesize, we can speculate, we can do a lot of talking. The issue is not the talking. The issue is the consecration of the body as the temple for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living gods and goddesses that would have us walk with high degree of morality and high ethic and sensibility, and the ability to love ourselves to life, the ability to bring our children forward without sickness, illness, and disease, the ability to regain what our footing is on an earth that is a biosphere intergalactic spaceship spinning in space that is hostess for embryonic gods and goddesses. Liberation allows for the intelligence of our being to be free so that we are in harmony with the laws of life, the laws that govern our existence, and being in a place and space where we are dwelling as points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence, and to be supremely intelligent. Now, there's nothing but intelligence, and all creatures are intelligent, and no other creature lives to kill itself. We have been anesthetized, inebriated, stupefied, toxified, and whatnot, so that we are not able to walk in the integrity of the truth of the divinity of our beings, immersed in nothing but the sanctity and the sacredness of existence itself.
I say.
I'll show you.
And so as wombed men and men, from the time we were typed female then male in our mother's wombs, destiny was becoming wombed men, perpetuator of lineages, and men, the progenitor of lineages. We are either female or male or some connection of the both. Male, female, both, and neither. We're having the experiences
Right.
of realizing the intelligence of our being. So at this particular point in juncture, we really do not have to be licensed, certified, and degreed to be men or to be wombed men. We do not have to be licensed, certified, and degreed to be the progenitor and the perpetuator of lineages. But of course, we got licensed, certified, and degreed to be ministers and priests and popes and pastors and pharmacists and physicists, and you understand, licensed and degreed to be teachers, licensed and degreed to be nurses, licensed and degreed to be doctors and psychiatrists and all of that. And with all the licensing and degreeing, nobody is properly prepared for leaving the planet as conscious immortals.
With all that that book smart.
You understand? Because one, to create an educational system that does not take into account the purpose of existence.
Right.
I mean, what are you being educated to do if you are not being supported in the realization, the self-actualization of the divinity of yourself? If you're not really educated to be able to respect and to work harmoniously with that which is the will of existence, the intelligence of existence, to be the conscious perpetuator and the progenitor of lineages. We have come through lineages of people. The greatness of who we are is stamped on our DNA. But being under death culture with the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the custom mutants of cows, artificial colors, artificial flavors, and all of the shit that they call food, you understand, it puts us on a DNA lockdown. So now we're going to the books. We're having to read books. We're having to get information. We're having to follow somebody else's thought about who we are, why we are, what we are, because we are disconnected from being in a place where we can get our direct downloads of insight, inspiration, intuition, activation as intelligences of existence. See, the intelligence of existence need a book to communicate with itself. Is true.
I swear.
You understand? So our coming to this place where we are intensely intentional in being whole, body, heart, mind, spirit, connected and harmonious under the auspices of our souls. So that we are not, there's no error that we can make. Right now, we've been in the progression of error.
Right.
Why? Because we're being warred against and we're not able to respond correctly and directly to being warred against. Used to be when a people were being warred against, they would strategize and create some methodology of defense or offense. You understand? But now, you know, we're like complicit, complacent, and co-conspirating. We feel entitled to do things that undermine our cellular functioning. We feel as though it is our right to be wrong. It is our right to our theories and opinions. It is our right to have the nature to comfort ourselves in flesh and death. The nature of oppression. You understand? So I'm just saying that we have to be liberated from the foolishness. We have to be liberated from the delusion. We have to be liberated from the lies, from the deception. We have to be liberated from feeling as though these ones have the right to determine that we all other ones have to be commodity and slaves in a system of oppression.
Right. I see.
You understand? So who made you gods of the universe and everybody else is here to be commodity and slaves and multi-trillion-dollar business through sickness, illness, disease, and death? And then you're under the delusion of thinking that you can profit and you can prosper to the detriment of anything else when we live in absolute law, in the reality of absolute and eternal reality. There is law that governs existence. We, as wombed men, are having our wombs removed and our breasts cut off because we're eating the fetuses and the body fluids of other beings.
Right.
We're out of alignment with purpose, duty, obligation, and responsibility. So nobody has been sent from another realm of eternity into this realm to be murderers, liars, thieves, capitalists, imperialists, enslavers. You understand? We're following a program of those who have been out of alignment with the purpose in existence. There's only one purpose in existence, and that's to exist in the divinity of being. All being is divine. All existence is sacred space. These bodies are sacred spaces. But then
That's right.
where you feed it and you pumping all of this garbage down the throat, you understand? Then you go to those who beat you, rape you, enslaved you, whatever, and you're looking for a remedy for the poisoning that you have self-inflicted as a result of the sublimation and psychological behavioral modification that has happened through commercialism and advertising and our Sunday morning cartoons that make us seem like killing ourselves is fun.
Right.
Ooh.
All right, so my point is this. The will of existence intends that each generation become more dynamic than the previous one.
Right.
Each lineage is like a thought that has issued from the mind of God, imbued with so much of the gifts of God to come to the earth and demonstrate the harmonization and the peace and the poise and the power of godliness. Being rightly aligned, being highly ethical, moral, highly attuned to the reality that there is not anything other than that. We are all these points of this absolute and supreme intelligence, and it doesn't matter what hue of people we are, from the blackest black to the lightest light. So every spirit is in a body that needs to be completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, revivified, so that we constitute the actual church, not the physical bodies, not the physical polished wood, metal and stone, sheetrock, and all of that where people go to worship. The evidence of our worship is how we feed, how we think, how we walk, how we care, how we love, how we live, how we uplift, how we cultivate, how we honor, how we treasure, how we cherish, how we benefit and create heaven in our world. So we're all on the same planet. We're living in different worlds because our physical body is our first environment. So the more filth there is here, the more toxic there is here, then the more that world that they're created reflects the trauma, the drama, the violation, the confusion, the sickness, the illness, the disease. Even though we are these points of an absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. Even though we are on a paradise in eternity. Even though we live in a rainbow, but we don't see the rainbow unless there's the rain, the mist, or the oil slick, or you hold the crystal up to the light, then you see the rainbow. So we're living in the rainbow, and we're having hellaciousness. Like I was, my husband and I were traveling, and we went to a Walmart to refresh ourselves off the road, and so we weren't walking together, right? And so this brother begins to flirt with me. He said, "Hey, how are you today?" I said, "I'm absolutely fabulous." He said, "How you gonna be absolutely fabulous when we in hell?" I said, "I'm dwelling in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence." I said, "You're in hell because you're in all of that that's in that body of yours." You understand? So the issue for us is coming to this place and space where we are all right with being cleansed. Because the liberation is liberating the intelligence of your being to function harmoniously with the intelligence of all being. There should be no warring. There should be no murdering and killing and raping and violating and sex exploitation and pedophilia and all of this stuff is going on. What we haven't realized is that the cancer, the heart disease, the diabetes, the obesity, the heart attacks, the strokes, the aneurysm, all of this is justice. It's the animal's justice. It's the cow's justice.
That's the
justice. It's the chicken's justice. It's the hen's justice.
Wow.
It's the whale's justice, the salmon's justice, the tuna's justice, the shark's justice. When you have a humanity of people or those who are kind of human, for those who've lost their humanity, who support the violation, the murder of billions of creatures on an annual basis, when we were told not to kill, then we have to stop participating. We cannot continue to feed off the flesh of violated beings and think that we do not have the right to die.
Wow.
Now, because people think that you could just feed off all the chicken wings and chicken breasts and chicken this and chicken that. Like, what's wrong with them people? They chicken, because of how much chicken y'all been eating all this time. You say, well, I gave up beef and pork, but you still have the rot of carcass. So if there was anything that we would get vitalizing from an animal, we would have to get it from its blood. You've heard the life is in the blood.
Right.
All right, but you're not feeding from the blood, you're feeding from the carcass. The carcass has to rot. The carcass already has pathogens and viruses and bacteria in it that's in it to break it down. So it may take 3 days to process one serving of flesh. It don't matter whose flesh it is. If you can eat any flesh, then you can eat all flesh. And even if you only eat it every now and again and you can eat it and not be really, really sick, that's the evidence of how much poison is in your body. So liberation means that we are liberated from death culture. Culture is the index as to where a people are in their development, in their practices. All right. So we exalt Africanity, African culture, you know, what now people are calling being woke and being awake and this and that. I'm saying, well, you could be somewhat awake, but that doesn't make you powerful.
Right. Talk about it. Let's talk about
it. Like, okay, I'm awake, but you ain't done a freaking thing. So I'm saying now, liberation is the requisite for stepping into the power and authority of our own authenticity as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. We should not be co-complicit and co-conspirating with our own demise. As doctors and nurses and judges and cafeteria workers and all of this, we have to pull our hands out from supporting a system that has never had our best interests at heart. So when the truckers get it and the nurses get it, the truckers who are driving the chickens to slaughter, the pigs to slaughter, the cows to slaughter, refilling the package stores in our communities all over the world on the Monday morning. You understand? So I'm just saying is that at this particular point in time, liberation has to happen at the cellular level so that we regain our footing upon the path of eternal life. Now, if you are not able to get out of your body alive because your pineal gland is calcified, all of your energy centers never got activated, you literally suffocated in all of the phlegm and the mucus from all of the eggs and the cheese and the ice cream and the pancakes, the waffles, the breads, the biscuits, the croissants, the donuts, the potato chips, the cakes, the cookies, all of this stuff, in addition to the toxicity of the acidity of preservative nitrates, nitrites, BHA, BHT, aspartame, NutraSweet, all of this. Then by the time you look at all the artificial colors and flavors and all of that stuff that they serve to children as food, I'm just saying, can you get out the body alive if your neurological functioning was blocked and obstructed? If your respiratory functioning was blocked and obstructed, if your circulation was blocked and obstructed, is your endocrine and glandular functioning blocked and obstructed, your reproductive system blocked and obstructed, your lymphatic system blocked and obstructed, you understand, your lymphatic system blocked and obstructed, and are you not blocked and obstructed from getting out that body as a living being?
Man.
Liberation is a liberation from death.
I say.
Mm.
I say.
And so manhood and womanhood have to be restored. The divine feminine and the divine masculinity having harmonization within each temple. The blight of the planet has been the degradation of womanhood.
Mm.
Being under patriarchy and male domination, even in indigenous cultures, in African cultures, in Indian cultures and whatnot, with the clitorectomies and the violation of women's genitals, sewing their vaginas up until they are married. You understand? Marrying them off at 12 and 13 years old, having the arranged marriages with young girls, with old men because it benefited the family. I'm just saying is that
Mm.
we have been in a place and space where we have been out of alignment with the fullness of that which exalts the reality of a being's natural urge for its freedom.
Mm.
Women are not to be under the subjugation and domination of men,
I say.
That's right.
Let's talk about it.
particularly men who are not in the light of the truth of who they are as sons of light and wisdom and truth and peace and poise and power and compassion and mercy and divinity.
Mm.
I say.
You understand? Being under the auspices of being mean, mean, wicked, dirty, and nasty, abusive, and whatnot. I'm just saying is that the whole intention behind being under a global initiative of genocide is divisiveness.
Mm.
So that when each of us are individuations of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence, our inheritance is our heritage.
Mm.
We may not have seen in expression the greatness of the lineages through whom we've come because of the methodology of oppression to oppress our cellular functioning and to create filth as our bloodstream, so that many of our parents, not only were we eating chicken and beef and pork and lamb and this and that, we were smoking, they were drinking, they were getting high, you understand? And then the whole assault against the Black Power movement in, putting so much heroin and all these other drugs into our community. So now you have those ones who are vegan, but we want to continue to smoke. We want to continue to be high. Now we're trying to do all these other things. And I'm saying the issue is that there should be a natural high in living just by virtue of the oxygenation, the hydration, the mineralization, alkalization, knowing
That's
that
powerful.
point and presence of an supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. So the high is not there because you've been oppressed and you were fed like kids. Kids can eat just about anything. We're talking about baby goats.
Mm.
All right. So you get to be 21, right? And they celebrate you being 21 by taking you out and balling and drinking and smoking. Whatnot. So the divisiveness is happening so that we as little girls were brought up with baby dolls and easy bake ovens. And you understand, we were being groomed for motherhood while the brotherhood was being brought up with tanker trucks and toys and fire engines. And then during Vietnam, when I was a child, you understand, we had the tanks, we had the G.I. Joes, we had, you understand, y'all were being brought up for warfare. They were being brought up as soldiers. Now you got the video games. And spilling blood. So I'm just saying is that we have to be liberated from the program of sickness, illness, disease, death, environment, degradation, violation, but you have to be whole within yourself. So a man who's divided within himself, where he feels like he can be drinking and smoking and getting high and be full of filth, hooks up with a woman who feel like she could be drinking and smoking and eating everything and full of filth. There's no way that you can be loving each other to life. You can love each other to death.
Ooh. I saw where that was going.
You understand? So loving each other to death don't really give you no real brownie points.
Right.
You stay together 40, 50 years loving each other to death. He had to have his toes cut off, his legs cut off. You understand? She had her womb cut off, her breast cut off.
Man.
You understand? Because y'all supported each other in dying and feeding off of death. So I'm just saying liberation is about us realizing the methodology of our oppression. It's not just political. It's not just educational. It's not just socioeconomics. It's not just economy. You will never have an economy greater than your life force.
Come on, man.
You understand? So you got all of this energy about money. And I'm saying the money is coming from the trees. Okay, money doesn't have as much value as the trees do.
Not at all.
But then you have people killing themselves and killing other ones for money. And I'm saying, well, that has to be as a result of the severe degrees of insecurity about themselves to make them feel like, okay, I got power because I took something from someone else. You understand? So this is the whole thing behind imperialism and capitalism and whatnot. Capitalism requires slaves, right? Capitalism requires slaves. So being successful capitalist is not success in life. Being successful business owners is not success in life.
Talk about it. Yep.
Being successful in whatever your goals and objectives are for yourself in terms of how proficient you become so that you can get lauded and applauded and whatnot to dance and sing and entertain people all over the world is not necessarily success in life. You understand? Having $1 million contracts or dribbling and playing ball when your people are being exterminated from the face of the earth like roaches is not success in life.
Come on,
What is success in life? Success in life is exalting a full effort in your living that you do nothing to undermine yourselves. Success in life is where you are loving that which beats your heart and breathes you with your whole body, heart, mind, with all of your might, coming to a point and place where you consciously care to honor the lineages through whom you've come. Success in life is being able to create a greater everywhere that you show up. People are grateful and thankful for your energy, for your contribution, for your presence. You are helping to shape this realm as heaven on earth because of the quality of being that you are.
I say. Yep.
You understand? So there is no helplessness and there is no hopelessness in God.
That's
At all.
There is no impoverishment. There is no poor in God. You understand? So those ones who kind of took a vow of impoverishment so that they could be righteous and they could be spiritual. There's no balance in that. You are already the greatest thing you will ever have. There could be nothing added to you that is greater than you. Take all of the money that has ever been printed, all the coin that has ever been minted, put it all together. It does not have the value of one beat of our heart or one breath that we take. But how long will it take us to walk in the wealth of the truth of ourselves? That's what liberation gets you.
I say.
That you don't feel less than because you don't have this, that, and the other. You were gifted with so much of that which is pure intelligence.
It's who you are.
And you can create from thinking. Thought becomes creative. But when your blood is defiled with the rot and the stench and the stink of pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken and alcohol and tobacco and Black and Miles and marijuana and plus that wacky weed that they got y'all smoking and going on and all this stuff, I'm telling you, your thought cannot be creative. You're just entertaining and regurgitating other people's stuff.
That is powerful.
Liberation is your capacity to tap into the fullness of the intelligence of your being, to walk in the light of the truth of intelligence that is existence itself, to be an honor and a glory to the lineages through whom we've come, to be in a place and space and see every hue and race of people are in need of liberation. Those who enslaved us, beat us, raped us, hung us, sodomized us, castrated us, set us afire, threw our bodies over to the side. You understand? These ones are in much need of liberation, and their generations who feel as though they can just pump poison, more chemo, more radiation, more pharmaceuticals. These ones are in need of liberation too, because they're completely out of order. And they're licensing, certifying, and agreeing to put them in a place where they can be the dispensers of death does not make them an intelligent people.
At all.
You understand? When you think that you can prosper to the detriment of other ones, that you can participate in a global initiative of depopulation and genocide, and because you got paid doing it, that there's some success that you had in life, that you got nice things.
Speak on it.
And so I am intensely intentional in our realizing the divinity of being, the divinity of all being. When you look at the word being, B-E-I-N-G, being is the activity of existence, right? The ones who are having the experience of existence. I, in the center of it, is the intelligence of being. Everybody has it. The cats have it. The dogs have it. The cows have it. You understand? These people now, they cannot create from anything other than what was already in existence. All right? They can modify, they can manipulate, but they cannot create from something other than what was already in existence. So those chickens that you all be eating are completely intelligent creatures, even though they are not natural creatures. How do you know they're not natural? Because you don't see them anywhere. Chickens do not exist naturally in existence, like possum and squirrel and pheasant and owls and deer. And you understand, there's certain things that are naturally in existence. So if we were flesh eaters, then we would be eating those things that we find naturally in our environment. But then the reality is that most of you who are eating flesh are not killers. You're not going to go out and hunt and kill. You're not going to jump on the ground, take it down, and you know what I'm saying, get it while the blood is still with it. So none of us are real flesh eaters. And the whole eat right for your blood type thing where O positive, I'm O positive. So we're supposed to be eating flesh. But I knew from the time that I was 7 that I shouldn't be eating flesh. I didn't need a doctor to tell me that you need flesh. I had sense enough to know that these were living creatures. Once I realized that these were living creatures and they were killed, and then that's their flesh, I knew at the time I was 7 that that's not what we should be doing. I was throwing my parents' cigarettes and alcohol away at 7. All right, now here I am coming before the world to say, we have to call a moratorium on death. Y'all get excited about somebody getting beat down over here by the police, getting shot over here by the police, but we have a historical record of dozens and dozens and hundreds of people being hung and beaten and raped and whipped and all of this. I'm just saying, these people have not changed. All right, the issue for us is coming to a point where we don't attract devastation to ourselves. But when your blood is defiled with devastation, violation, then you can attract violation and devastation to you. Don't think those chickens were not devastated. Don't think that those cows and those and those turkeys were not devastated.
That's real.
You understand? So I'm just saying is that we are perfectly and divinely designed as intelligences of existence that have come into this realm from another realm. We should be able to leave this realm after qualifying for continuance in existence or having graduated the class of Earth residency.
Oh, I love that.
We're in school. So whatever curriculums you're taking in terms of marriage, in terms of motherhood, fatherhood, in terms of how it is you show up, how it is you're serving, how it is you're developing your talent, skills, and abilities, you cannot be a detriment to yourself in surviving. All right. Our coming to this place where we realize that we're always in the light of supreme intelligence. All right. The shadow working that people are talking about, I don't really know what that really is. But the issue that I'm bringing forward is that the clearer, the cleaner your blood, the greater your clarity, the freer you are. Now, from all of the trauma, the rape, the incest, the beatings, the abandonment, all of the emotional stuff that we have charged and infused into the waters of ourselves, these things will be decrystallized when we are doing the internal cleansing. You understand? The issue is our bodies are 80% water, like the earth is 80% water. Water is a medium of intelligence that holds frequency and vibration, and it is programmable, which is why we were told through fasting and prayer, the desires of our heart will be granted unto us. The fasting is not just giving up food, it's hydrating. So we don't have to really just drink tons and tons of water when you are literally consuming water-based fruit and vegetation, things with
Right.
the minerals from the herbs, the clay to help pull the toxins out of the system, flush them out, right? Then you're decrystallizing a lot of the built up old, all of that stuff, the resentments, the anger, the shame, the pain. They have to go down the toilet with the rest of that shit that y'all got. You understand? You have to flush it. You understand? But to think that we can just process and reprocess and re-talk about our story, I'm saying forget the story. Don't keep regurgitating your story if it was full of pain. You understand? Don't keep reliving the memory of your rape and your violation and your abandonment and stuff. Begin to exalt the reality that I am this living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal point of an absolute and supreme intelligence that is beating my heart, breathing me. I commit my whole body, heart, mind, life, and soul to being completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, revivified. I stand in the light of supreme intelligence as a point of supreme intelligence. Reprogram and infuse yourselves with the absolute truth of your being. Do it daily. We're giving up the meat, the dairy, the eggs, the chicken, the fish, the alcohol, tobacco, the sugar, the reefer, all of it. Why? Because you're being warred against. And as long as you are a participant in your own oppression, there's no way for you to be victorious over the oppression. So therefore, there were so many ones who took the COVID shot. And when I talk to them and they say, well, I had to take it because of my job, I say, you didn't have to take it.
Right.
All of y'all could have just walked off the job.
Had a lot of those conversations.
So when we talk about liberation, we're talking about the faith and the confidence to do what's in your own best interest. You don't submit to people who've already proven that they hate you.
Right.
Please.
We already at war.
And so we're being warred against. We're not at war, but we're being warred against.
Right.
So we cannot be a detriment to ourselves in survival. We cannot be inebriated, intoxicated, and always being high and think that that's the evidence of how awake and how woke we are. You understand? That's the evidence of the delusion to think that for you to think that you can burn your lungs, which is the organ of your spirit, and be in a place where that's elevation. More delusion. And then the fact that it's legalized, so you go up here to the corner store and they're selling all kinds of stuff. I'm like, okay, that's a trick. And we just need to be completely committed to the cleanliness. We heard from time and time we were little, cleanliness is next to godliness.
Been hearing it my whole life.
Right. What are we talking about? If we're not talking about our bodies and our blood and our lymph, and you understand? No, the cleanliness has to happen here. Now, grandmama and them used to have us. I learned how to strip floors and sand floors and clean the windows and all of this stuff for spring cleaning as a youth.
Right.
But then they were still pumping bacon and eggs and chicken and fish and stuff down our throat.
At the same time.
Right? Then you get to a point where you get ornery, right? And then they say, go get me that switch. I'm going to beat the devil out you. But then they didn't realize they were putting the devil in you.
Talk about
artificial flavor. Ooh, baby, here, I got this. Ooh, I had this for you. I got that for you. Got some treats for you.
Oh man. Oh
man. Yeah, that's heavy.
It's alone, backwards culture.
So we
rage and anger.
Right. We want to be in a place where we are respecting the divine design of these bodies. We are breatharian first. We have to breathe. It is the breath that is the animating, maintaining, and sustaining force of our lives. When you think about all of the stuff that they call food, we didn't have to have any of it. None of it is oxygenating, hydrating, mineralizing, alkalizing, facilitating real cellular renewal, rebirth, regeneration, or facilitating elimination. None of it. What does that? So we're making a distinction now between the tool of oppression that they call food, the weapons of mass destruction, the tobacco, the alcohol, the sodas, the white sugar, and all of the colors and things that we can find within hands reach, children's reach at all of the checkout of all of the stores.
Yeah.
You understand, these things have destroyed more lives and more livers than all of the wars that America has involved themselves in.
That's real.
All right. So we're perfectly and divinely designed. We're 80% water, like the earth is 80% water. 80% of our regimen that we call diet, that we're referring to as a living, has to be 80% water. But you still have the responsibility of getting all of the food residues out of your tissues, breaking up that mucus. Cleansing first thing. So our bodies are cleansing. First thing, we get up, brush our teeth, do all of that, but then we put junk in the trunk. Now we've seen people live without their toes, their feet, their legs, their arms, their breasts, their wombs, right? Their prostate, the kidneys. You understand? Half a liver. You've seen people live without their ability to see or speak or hear, but you've never seen people live without their head on the trunk. So, and I've seen guys coming from the war who got on these, they're on these like skateboards, wide skateboards, because they only have their trunk and they go like this, right? So you could live without most of your organs, your body parts right here in terms of your appendages. But that heart, the lungs, the liver, the gallbladder, all of that which is in this trunk is going to be poisoned as long as you keep shoving shit down your throat. Meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, candy, all of this stuff. This is the methodology of our oppression. This is why we find it everywhere in our communities. I'm calling a boycott of the death industries. I call that the death industries. Now, there are those of us who work for these companies. We drive their trucks. We're in the factories producing this stuff. You understand? We have to get strong enough mentally where we are one, for whatever you are generating. I'll put it this way. We take our life currency and we generate a paper currency. Now it's cryptocurrency, right? So I'm saying that take whatever your money, your financial currency is, and invest it in increasing, magnifying, amplifying your life currency. Because that way there'll always be more of you. The way that we're socialized is that we take our life currency, trade it, barter our time and energy for paper currency, and then we're taking the paper currency and then we are buying and consuming stuff that depletes our life currency, that oppresses our life currency, which is charged on the blood. So wisdom would have us be in a place where no matter who you work for, where you work for, Coca-Cola, Kraft, McDonald's, I don't care who you work for, begin to take the first 20% of your paycheck and invest it in new blood. Your clay, your herbs, your water, your fresh fruit, your vegetation. And what will happen is that you begin to get a new thought. You begin to see like you've never seen before. Begin to think like you've never thought before. And then with you praying and consecrating and really infusing every fiber of your being with your love of that which is beating your heart and breathing you, you will get a much greater idea in terms of what you could be doing to generate income. They have us practicing the economics of depletion. They say, oh, well, energy is neither created nor destroyed, it's merely transformed. So everybody's sitting back and just thinking that their spirit is energy and it's going to be transformed. I'm saying, no, energy can be depleted. What we're seeing in terms of so much hopelessness and homelessness and drug addiction and alcohol addiction and sex addiction, and we're seeing depletion. And if you do not learn how to replenish, regenerate, rejuvenate, revitalize, and revivify yourself, then you can't be free. The whole intention of a death culture is to have you dying. The whole intention is to have each generation dying younger and younger. That's the genocide. That's how we know it's in full effect, to have you all in a position where you're not able to generate life currency. You're not able to have babies. You're not able to conceive. You don't know how to raise children. Women don't want to breastfeed. Their bodies are so toxic, they can't breastfeed. So I'm just saying is that we have to be liberated from all of the lies and the delusions and the teachings that we have inherited in death culture, to really take responsibility for being realigned and reattuned with the real nature and intelligence of who we are as men, the progenitor of lineages, and womb men, the perpetuator of lineages, and to know that we are to work harmoniously. We should not be at war with one another. That's the divisiveness. That's the being divided within yourself. So the brotherhood has been duped into thinking that real manhood is about being able to smoke and drink and get high and be loose with yourself and you understand, and waste your seed and all of this. And I'm saying, no, that's a scheme. That's depletion. That's death. That don't make you a good husband or a good father. That puts you in a position where a real woman would not be able to stand you. You understand? We want to be in a place where, no, we're all on the same page. We're all getting centered. We're all consciously caring to liberate every fiber of our being from the sludge that's creating all of the sickness, illness, and disease. And that's why I do what I do in terms of facilitating the cleansing, the purification, the regeneration, the right thought, the right mind, putting ourselves in a place where we forgive ourselves for being lackadaisical, for being resistant to the truth. You got to forgive it. You understand? Because so many ones, y'all been hearing the truth for a long time, but then you act like you not supposed to follow it. You could just, you got the free will to be wrong. You got the free will to be enslaved. That's God's gift to you. And I'm saying, no, the intelligence of existence gave you so much of itself, and it gave you absolute law. To love it with your whole body, heart, mind, with all of your might. To constantly care, to glorify and honor the lineages through whom you are. To love yourself so that you can love your neighbors as you love yourself. To be in a place and space where you are not creating havoc, chaos, drama, trauma, sickness, illness, disease, and death. I'm just saying, we're already in eternity. Why are we risking our eternal lives for a few decades of lawlessness, foolishness? And so being here in Atlanta should really be on the front line of the movement of our liberation. Because the corporate deities of death are headquartered here.
Mm.
We've got one of the largest population of Black millionaires. We've got one of the largest
Makes
populations
sense.
of homeless.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one of the largest populations of the artistic and the creative and the music and you understand. So I'm just saying, but the issue is that we're not properly oriented in duty, obligation, and responsibility
Mm.
to recreate our world, because everything that we're seeing has been created by somebody's thoughts, habits,
Right.
desires, lusts, passions, talent, skills, and abilities. Do not think that all of these death industries could be marketed into our communities without ones who look like us making sure that they get into
Mm-hmm.
our communities.
Right. Right.
Mm.
And so having conversations with those who work for the death industries. If you could take your talent, skill, and ability and make sure that poison gets pumped all over the place, what could you do rightly oriented
Mm.
as children of an absolute and supreme intelligence? You understand your job and your career do not take precedence over your purpose in existence.
Mm.
I say.
Mm.
And so to be purposed in being and the care to do it. See, we will never accomplish something we don't care to do.
Mm.
We have to care to do the inner clearing, cleansing, consecration, purification. We have to care to be drug free. We have to care. See, when people say, well, I was addicted to drugs for 20, 30 years, I've been clean for 2, 3 years. I'm saying you haven't been clean yet.
Mm.
Our tissues are still holding those chemicals.
Right. Right. That's
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
The mucus binds those chemicals.
Mm.
You understand? So the perfect and divine design of our being as 80% water, spirits in the body, charged upon the blood. The cleaner the blood, the greater the clarity. The greater the clarity, the more focused the thought.
Mm.
The higher your aspiration to walk in the truth of the one that you actually are, to the glory of the ones through whom you come, puts you in a position where you can outthink the foolishness. Puts you in a position where you don't have to be concerned about what they're doing. Everybody's like, they're doing this and they're doing that. Forget what they're doing. They might as well be literally figments of our collective imagination that we will no longer give them that much time, energy, or attention.
Mm.
They don't beat your heart. They don't breathe you. They don't blaze the sun. They don't make the earth spin. Whatever they do, they're not doing anything that is foundational for our existence.
Mm.
Whatever they're doing to try to ensure that we cease to exist, you still can't pay that much attention to them. You got to pay attention to that which is beating your heart and breathing you, blazing the sun, has the earth spinning. I'm just saying, we are on a dot that is in eternity. The earth is as big as a period at the end of a sentence.
Mm.
So our clearing, our cleansing, our purification, our consecration allows us to get into harmony with our angels, our guides, our guardians, our ancients, and to be under the auspices of our souls.
Mm.
So that we have our spiritual health. You understand? See, the protocols of the elders of Zion, it was intended that we be poisoned. So that we lose our connection to the spirit world. This is deliberate. All of this, what we're experiencing, is deliberate intentionality to make sure that we're in the ditches and valleys of degradation, violation, inebriation, intoxication, subjugation, domination. You understand? Incarceration. All of this is programmed. But once you make the decision that you will no longer be enslaved to any appetite, that you will no longer commit suicide, slow as it may be, in killing yourself, in undermining yourselves. Soon as you make the decision to walk the face of this earth as some of the most dynamic spirits on the planet, and you will clear, cleanse, and purify and love God with your whole body, heart, mind, life, and soul. I'm just saying, we all have our gifts, but the greatest gift that we have is the intelligence of our being and the capacity to tap in, tune in, show up, show out, and be clearer, cleaner vehicles and vessels of its love, its light, its wisdom, its truth, its peace, its poise, its power, its potency, as well as its riches and its wealth, pouring forward into our experience that we walk the face of this earth as some of the most dynamic spirits that have ever lived. On behalf of all of those ones to whom we come, on behalf of those whose names we can call and those whose names we'll never know, on behalf of those who could not make it across those oceans, on behalf of those who were hung and beaten and raped and slain, on behalf of all of those who are dying from the cancer, the heart disease, and diabetes, on behalf of those who've had their breasts cut off and their wombs cut off, it is our time to rise. And you cannot do it without your clearing, your cleansing, your consecration, your care to be clean. And yes, we do have to be meditative. And yes, we do have to be prayerful, praying without ceasing, acknowledging the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. There's nowhere you can go where it is not. Every eye you see sees as an eye of God.
Absolutely.
To consciously care to be forgiven. To be forgiven. You know when you're wrong. You know when you're out of order. You know when you mean. You know when you're hurtful. You know it. Apologize. Thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Ho'oponopono, y'all familiar with that? Hawaiian clinical psychiatrist was assigned to a psychiatric hospital for the criminally insane. And every day he would go over their files and he would read over their files and say, thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. And he taught the inmates to do that for themselves. The hospital was closed in 3 years. You understand? We're having you understand? Gratitude and thanksgiving. Loving is respecting, honoring, reverencing, appreciating, acknowledging the divinity that is you. Everybody needs the same thing. We need to be loved. We need to be validated. We need to know our worth. We need to be treated as if we are worthy. We need the kindness. We need the reverence. We need appreciation. You understand? We all require the same thing in order to thrive.
Right.
Thank you. I love you. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Even where you can't even have a conversation with the person. Just think about it. Put it in writing. Put their name on the paper. I mean, there's a lot of warfare with parents and family and children and siblings and loved ones and divorced ones and baby mama, baby daddy, wives and husbands who are not acknowledging their marriage.
Right.
Thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. We have to begin to really acknowledge the intelligence of a person. Now, you could be full of shit, right? But that should be temporary. That's a condition. That's not your truth.
Right.
That's a condition.
Right.
We get leverage when we acknowledge the divine truth of the being. You understand? When people say, pray for me, that's a plea for, please see me in my wholeness.
Perspective. I love it.
I love
you understand? We're having to acknowledge The intelligence of being that is there, that is our truth. It is everybody's truth, no matter how oppressed we may be. So now we're about flipping on the lights, turning on. I've been on radio for 22 years, speaking to the issues of our liberation, our salvation, our deliverance, calling for a boycott of the death industries, being in a place and space where I'm putting this out there. It doesn't matter that I'm the only one sowing the seeds. I mean, now it's like when I had my restaurant, Little 5 Point, strict vegetarian restaurant, Mother Earth's adornments for the whole being, body, heart, mind, soul, and more. 14-item salad bar, made all my veggie burgers every day from scratch. You understand? So I'm just saying is that was 1994 to 1999. All right. So when I came to Atlanta in February of '80 as vegetarian and started immediately sharing with everybody that I could talk to. Right. Now it's trending 40 years later.
Right. In Atlanta.
Exactly. But the issue is that stuff that they call in veganism and vegetarianism is still a recipe for death.
Yeah.
Eating a vegan form of the same stuff that we grew up eating. Right. Not giving the body a chance to cleanse. It's not water-based. It's talking about pea protein and potato starch and all of this impossible, beyond, whatever, all of that is. And we are not able to consume any of it and walk with exalted thought. Right? Liberation means that you are in exalted thought that creates an exalted walk. It's not inconsistency, contradiction, and hypocrisy. It's not saying one thing and doing something completely different. It's integrity at the cellular level. Because if the integrity is not at the cellular level, then the breach of integrity is going to show up somewhere in your life. When we talk about wholeness, it has to have WHOLE-ness, not HOLE-ness, not HOLY. Because when you have whole, HOLE, the substance of a thing has been removed from it. So when you talk about those who are practitioners of holistic whatever, and it's HOLISTIC, holistic without the W means that there's something missing.
That's powerful. Because it's not whole. That's deep.
That's very deep. Yeah.
That's deep. Much gratitude to you for that, Jim. Yeah.
So the restoration, the reorientation, the exaltation of the divine feminine is a requisite for the establishment of the eternal order and the eternal government upon the planet. That is the divine feminine that is in every man, and the wholeness of womanhood and the integrity of womanhood. Right now, the ditches and valleys of degradation and the whoredom and the prostitution and our bodies being used as dumping, as deposits for toxic sperm, you understand, or our wombs being removed because of how much eggs and cheese and other people's body parts we've eaten. I'm just saying the restoration of the integrity of the divine feminine in harmony with Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the right of all creatures to have the right to their lives. So this is not about veganism and vegetarianism. It's about what are the prerequisites for our being qualified for continuance in existence as a result of being under the auspices of those who are being disqualified for continuance in existence as a result of their practices of imperialism, colonialism, murder, entrapment, enslavement, incarceration, devastation, subjugation, violation. You understand? So when I was a child in school, high school, we heard that there were those who were on a world conquering rampage.
Mm.
That world conquering rampage never stopped.
Mm.
Everything that we're seeing is the evidence of it being in full effect.
Mm.
Now, whatever body parts you have left, you understand, whatever you got going on, activate your spirit. Activate it by reclaiming the divinity of your being. It's the word, it's the thought, it's the truth.
Mm.
And that's why when people connect to me and get on my protocols for the cleansing, we're drinking this internal cleansing clay that goes through the system and it begins to loosen and pull anything inorganic out of the tissue from the brain throughout the body. So it helps to dissolve the tumors, the fibroids, the collection of toxins that the body has isolated, right? And then we flush it. We sweat those toxins out in the detox bath and we do the enemas. Now, many of us remember when we went to our grandmother's house, they had these red rubber bags hanging on the back of the door, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
So
That's
that
what it was, you know.
program is cleaning that gut because all disease really starts in the gut.
Mm.
All right, brothers be like, I don't want to stick that tube up my behind. I'm like, you shouldn't have put all that down your throat.
Straight like that.
Right, I'm
Mhm.
just saying, okay?
Yeah.
You can't be
That's
chewing
it.
the flesh of chicken and all of this stuff and then swallowing it and it's all in there and then you don't want to get it out.
Right.
Mhm.
Which is a brain. You putting all that stuff right into your brain, to your first
Yep.
brain. You know, so like you said, it's definitely processing information every time you eat. So that's definitely, we gotta attack it. You know,
Mhm.
I think it's I want to speak on something somebody said that this is not the actual New Year, and I want to say that yes, we're definitely, I'm pretty sure a lot of us are aware of that, and that is true. But this is a rebirth, and this is a major rebirth, and everything she's talking about in liberation and freedom is detaching from one system and actually connecting and birthing and aligning with another system, which is a system of life. So this is a rebirth process that we are in, and I feel like this message for us that do acknowledge the new year, and for people that are aligning with the intention of change and really looking for answers or looking for growth. I feel like Adama is really dropping and bringing and setting the tone and the foundation with no cracks. So much gratitude to you for this message that you're
Sure.
giving, because it's a message with foundation with no cracks. There's no cracks in this foundation. So much gratitude to you once again.
Mhm.
You're welcome. There is people will say, I don't know what my purpose is,
Mm.
right? And I'm saying there's only one purpose, and that's to be purpose.
Mhm.
To be intensely intentional,
Mhm.
to live in the greatness of who you are, because you'll never become something that you're not.
Yeah.
Because the real salvation and the real evidence of our liberation is in the quality of beings that we come to. The high ethic, the morality, the sensibility, it becomes evident in the way that we walk, in the way that we look, in how we are able to create viable, sustainable friendships, relationships, restore our families, our communities. You understand? So,
Right.
no, the purpose in being is self-actualization,
Mhm.
self-realization, self-mastery, harmonization with the laws of existence, the will of existence, and to be in a place where you are always exalting a full effort in your living. And you're growing, you're unfolding. You should be maturing, not getting old. In the realm of eternity, the only old there is comes as a result of the concentration, the saturation, the contraindication of nitrites, BHA, BHT, pesticide, herbicide, larvicide, artificial colors, blue lake dye, all of these chemicals that are literally robbing you of your life force. The dehydration, the insufficient oxygenation, the deficiency, the mineral deficiency, all of this is what creates old in the realm of eternity. So we're creating life culture in the midst of the death culture that we've been raised in.
I say.
We're bypassing the system of death to acknowledge the realm of eternity that is the actuality and the factuality of what is. It is not something that's coming. It is the reality of what is, what has always been, what will always be. We, on the other hand, may not be so fortunate to continue on our soul's evolutionary journey in conscious immortality if we're stupid enough to be killing ourselves. We have to care. We have to love. We have to forgive. We have to honor. We have to learn to cherish, to treasure, to be in our gratitude, our praise, our prayer, our thanksgiving. We have to assume the position of being, I say re-enthroned, but really the prodigal children returning home to the mind of God, to the house of God, through the purification of the body as the temple for where we meet God, where we commune with God, where we become one with God. God being law, God being light, God being wisdom, God being truth, God being that which is the totality of all there could possibly be in terms of the beauty of what we can create. In harmony with the wholeness of existence itself. We've been scattered across the planet, Africans throughout the diaspora, so that we can reclaim the whole planet as the kingdom of God. There isn't anything that is guaranteed success upon the planet, except the establishment of the kingdoms and queendoms of God in harmony with the laws of existence, the intelligence of existence, the will of existence, and the absolute and supreme administering intelligences and the eternal government. We have the opportunity to participate with it. You don't have to. Your participating is not going to make it come or go. It already is. We have the opportunity to experience the glory of having participated. When we were little, it said, "Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." Yeah, the battle of the Republic. This, right? No, not only do our eyes have the opportunity to see the glory of the coming of the Lord, we have the opportunity to participate as the hands of God, the light of God, the truth of God, the peace of God, the poise of God, the power of God. We have that opportunity right now, and it will take time for you to get to a point and place where you're not vacillating, you ain't going backwards and forward and getting in and out and off and on. It's going to take you a minute. That's why I do what I do, to make sure that you have support. Your number for life support is 678-760-9299. But here in Atlanta at Mother Earth's Blessing Holistic Life Center, we have empowerment circles Wednesday evenings from 6 until 10, 11, sometimes 12, where we have the opportunity to get charged and to have a practical experience at harmonization with the drums and the shakeré and the instrumentation and our voices. And then Sundays from 3 to 7, you need support. And then for those who are reaching for me as a result of the interview that I did on Vegan Link, YouTube's Vegan Link, we will begin to have a Zoom on Tuesday nights at 9 Eastern Standard Time, so that we can begin to really create the power cells. That's what I'm calling them, power cells. Okay. So that those who are in Seattle and those who are in Maryland and those who are in Texas and those who are in Iowa and those who are in Oklahoma. It's like after a while, we're beginning to connect all of these ones together
Mm.
so that
That's
we have
powerful.
circles of support
Mm.
in doing that, which is truly in our best interest. We don't have to get out and picket and march and all of that. We do have to take responsibility for creating the integrity, the sanctity, the sacredness, the cleanliness, and the divinity of our bodies as sacred
Mm.
space, as the temples for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living gods and goddesses. That is liberation.
I say, I say, I say.
Shit,
Um, you know, first and foremost, I want to something somebody said this in the comments. They was like, this message is directly channeled from the ancestors, man, and that's what it feels like.
yeah.
Like you really came here. You didn't just come here. You came here with a channeled message, and I feel the warrior energy as well as I feel the divine feminine of the love energy, and I respect it because I feel like in a divine feminine aspect, the one man or the goddess is pushed to be this soft, quiet, submissive energy, and I can feel the dominance in your energy, and the dominion in the words when you speak, and that's the type of power that we need, and that is required, for this shift and for this takeover. So I'm very grateful for that. I love it.
Shit.
I come from strong elders, that would tell me things that would hurt my feelings. Man, I would be like, why would
Right?
you say that to me? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But it made me a different type of being.
Mm-hmm.
As they say, tough skin. Or I'm able to. So I appreciate this message. I would say I don't have anything to add on to it at all. That would be disrespectful. At this point, I do want to elaborate on what shadow work is a little bit, and what shadow work Sundays is, and so it's a lot of things that you're touching on. Trauma, pain, childhood trauma, connecting with your inner child, just many different aspects. We actually touch on different areas every Sunday and break down how to actually overcome these certain situations, how to become more of a compassionate being. How do you go into the memories of the heart space is what we call it, and you go into those memories of a childhood, and you actually unlock these certain memories and feel and detach from how your mother made you feel and your father made you feel, because I lived a life where I was projecting everything that it was given to me, and all my trauma, I wasn't projecting me.
Mhm.
So I had to detach from that to actually become me and find who I was and really live in my true purpose as me, not who my family was and their karma and their, detach from the death culture of my own family and my own,
Right.
so technically that's a
Mm.
cellular, we go and heal on a quantum level. So that's what we mean when we say shadow work. The same thing that you're essentially talking about. Obviously, you going in on different levels that brought awareness to me even more. You covered more ground. But that's what we do here. It's a support group. It's so that nobody feels alone if they got deep healing things that they're going through. There's a soul tribe, and that we here every Sunday to talk about how to overcome and different tools to overcome these traumas and things that when we get off this live and you go outside, it's being promoted and forced upon us, especially in the neuromelanated Black community. So that's shadow work at layman's terms.
All right. Absolutely. And so as mothers, and this is what we're having to really deal with, is that as the perpetuator and the progenitor of lineages, there is no greater work we'll do than stepping into greatness of who we are. But to
Mm.
ensure we have been entrusted with duty, obligation, and responsibility to ensure the progression of our lineages. And this is where we have to come and realize, one, that for all of the children that are coming forward, these babies should never have tasted flesh.
Mhm.
You understand? They should, I'll put it this way. Those of you who have yet to have children need to cleanse before you even think All right, you need to give your body 3, 4, 5 years of daily clearing, cleansing, consecration before you even bring sperm and ovum together. All right, we're talking discipline of discipleship in order to ensure the progression. Now, what has happened is a lot of times when, you know, those ones have gone through and they become vegan and vegetarian and this and that, and they hook up with other ones who are not vegan and vegetarian. So it's like now you've got those who are on the path of adulteration. The path of adulteration is the path of death. That's what we've been socialized on.
Right.
All right. The initiative to clear and cleanse the body from meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, flesh, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, and whatnot is your initiation onto the path of life. Now, once you come off the path of death, you can't find your pleasure on the path of death. Once you come to the path of life, you can't go back to the path of death to find your pleasure and lay up with somebody who's on that thing and think that you're not falling.
That's heavy.
Well, my husband, he's not going to do this. I say, well, you know, we're having to let our husbands know that we are here to love you to life. We're not here to be co-conspirating with an agenda to make sure that you're inebriated, intoxicated, violated, and whatnot. The violation that's charged on the blood is what creates the violence, the abuse. You understand? I know youth who have seen their mothers killed by their fathers, their stepfathers, and this and that. You understand? I'm just saying the violence is charged on the blood. So once you start cleaning that blood, then you can't keep laying up with people who will not do that work. Then you have to be into the thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry, seeing them whole body, heart, mind, and soul, and being in a place where you are honoring that which is beating your heart and breathing you, and asking and knocking. You say, ask and it shall be given. I thank you, Mother, Father, Creator God, that he is being cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed. I think that you understand, ask, because these relationships that we're creating, where we're creating lineages of people, these are lifetime relationships. These are relationships written upon the pages of time.
Right.
So the system can give us the opportunity to divorce or to never be legally married. It does not disqualify the reality that there's a merger and a marriage that has happened. You understand? So when we're really into our liberation, then we honor those marriages. We understand we're married. We don't have to be legally bound by it, but if you're really married, then you don't mind being legally bound by it. It's a contract, it's an agreement. Right. Something happens to your wife and you don't have legal right to determine what happens to her. You understand? See, things happen to people, and I've seen it, where people were not legally, their marriage was not legally accepted. You understand? So when it came down to him being in a coma, the wife who had been with him for the last 10, 15 years could not make a decision about him. The mother had to make a decision. Now, the mother hadn't been with him since he was like 10, 12 years old.
Right.
You understand? So I'm just saying is that when it comes down to how do we practice wholeness in the context of a system, you still have to have God first. You still have to have right alignment first. But then it allows us to participate in the system of things so that it still works towards our greater good. When you are no longer a detriment to yourself, then everything can work towards your greater good. The Creator is the totality of all there is as existence. You understand? Nothing can work against me now that I'm wise enough to do nothing to work against myself.
Come on now. I'll say. You know, I want to say this really quick. Everything that she's saying is self-sabotage. We are self-sabotaging ourselves, family. We have been self-sabotaging ourselves. We have a sabotager and we have been allowing it to happen. That's just what it is.
On a cellular level.
Yeah.
And so as we are moving forward, the frequency of 2023 is a 7 frequency. That means that as a universal year, that you will find more and more ones moving into the spiritual orientation of life.
That's it.
Right? You'll find more and more who are consciously caring to be whole, who be, spiritually centered. See, a lot of people think that the metaphysicians, those ones, the Deepak Chopras, the Louise Hay, the Abraham Hicks, the all of these ones, the Eckhart Tolle, there are many ones, all the ones who Oprah signed off on. I'm just saying nobody talked about the food. Nobody's addressing our liberation. And those who are, from the Claude Andersons to all of these other ones, and they're still not addressing the food as a tool of oppression, or demanding that those who are vying for selection and election are creating a moratorium on poisoning children.
Yeah.
You understand? So what we're looking to do is to put us in a place where we are, as women and men, knowing that nobody is here except to exalt life and wholeness. That means that the school systems would have to change their protocol for how they feed children.
Right,
The daycare systems,
Mhm.
those sisters who want to do daycare, who feel as though they can't do daycare unless they're certified by the system, which is mandating that you feed these children milk, which we're already lactose intolerant, and you give them hamburgers and processed cheese and all of this stuff. I'm just saying, we have to call a moratorium on killing children, on the cellular oppression. Sugar is the #1 pervasively used, misused, and abused drug in the world. They give it to us as children. Once you're addicted to sugar, then you can be addicted to anything. All right, so it matters that as parents, you will begin to bring your children out of that frequency of Halloween and all of this stuff and poisoning your children. A lot of people ask me, they say, well, is it all right for the children to have the clay and the tea? I say, well, if it was all right for them to drink the poison, to have the Kool-Aid, to eat the
Come on now.
Man, oh my gosh.
But that's safe, okay? If you did that, then no, they need this. We can do what we've not seen done before. We have the responsibility to do what we've not seen done before.
That's why we're here.
And that's the walk in the light of the truth of the all that we were born to be, as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of absolute and supreme presence. To be present, to be current, to be in the currency of the presence. That is the gift. That is our only salvation. It's not in the money. It's not even in the crypto. People talking about the cryptocurrency and all of this. Yeah, whatever man is creating, your responsibility is to be that which is creation of God. To be shaped by the hands of angels of light. To be in a place and space where there is no wealth greater than ourselves, and we love each other to life. And to know that at this particular point in juncture, you will have to really understand, I'm not here to sell you products. I'm here to create relationships. Right? Life supporting relationships. All right. You cannot go on my website and order products. You have to call me at 678-760-9299 to have a conversation. And yes, there are a lot of people trying to call me. So when I get caught, when the phone is in my hand, those ones right there. Otherwise, I will call you. You text me. But get on those, put your information down so that you can get on the calls. But you have to realize that what you do on a daily basis is going to make a difference. So you get up in the morning and you start having warm distilled or spring water with a tablespoon or two of Himalayan pink salt or Celtic salt to create the alkalization and be able to flush and open up your bowel. You want to have as your break fast, whatever time of day you break fast, when you start eating, it needs to be fresh fruit. If your digestive system has been corrupted, as most people's digestive system is corrupted as a result of meat and starch together, which neutralize the enzymes in the mouth, neutralize it so that we swallow it, but it doesn't convert to water. So eat your fill of one thing. 2, 3 apples. Don't just have one of this and one of that. Eat the whole bowl of cherries. You understand?
Right.
Whole thing of blueberries. Eat the whole thing of strawberries. Have a half a pineapple. Have the cantaloupe. You understand? You need the water and the fiber to move through your system. If you start there, that's going to make a difference. When I was 20, I went from eating everything to having fresh fruit in the morning, huge salads in the evening. It would take me an hour to eat that salad. All right. I went from 127 pounds to 103 in less than 45 days with no additional exercise.
That's powerful.
Because I was in
no exercise.
Right. Because I was in college, then I was able to experience the opening of my mental faculties and acuity that I could read the chapter, retain the information, go to class, listen to the professors, hear what they were saying, hear what was not being said, read between the lines, and form the critical questions. I brought my professors to their freaking knees. They cried like babies with me. You understand? We need to be able to outthink a system of oppression.
I see.
You understand? That clarity of mind, that cleanliness of blood. If it had eyes, if it had veins, if it laid eggs, if it birthed babies live, then it's not food for you. Fruit, leafy greens, vegetation, things with seed. The protein drinks and whatnot are going to be still mucusy. You got all this mucus in the body. So now you have to get the mucus buster or start busting up the mucus with your cayenne pepper, your ginger, your horseradish. You understand? There's certain things that's going to help get the sludge moving. But then the bowels have to be open. So if your bowels are sluggish, then you need more fruit. You need more water. You need the prunes. You need the figs. You need the raisins. You need the dark stuff to come in. Once you eat something other than fruit in the day, then don't go back to eating fruit. A lot of people are having a lot of digestive issues because they're using fruit as snack. You understand? So if they get started on the day with oatmeal, with chia seeds and bananas and whatever, right? Or avocado toast. A lot of people are telling me avocado toast or turkey bacon or bacon or whatever. If you start your day with anything else other than fresh fruit, you literally have missed your window for fruit.
Wow.
Because fruit is so easily digested. Fruit is best eaten on an empty stomach. All right. When you eat fruit on top of all this other stuff, then you're going to get gas, you're going to get bloating, you're going to feel as though the fruit doesn't agree with you. But it's going to start working to cleanse all of that rot, all that other stuff that's in that intestines.
Honestly, what I've noticed from personal experiences when I've done that and I've ate the fruit throughout the day, I almost feel like I got a stomach ache. It'll almost be like you ate too much sugar or something like. And then you end up on the toilet, for back to back. Like you said, it's not, it's not processing correctly. So that's deep to have to know why that happens.
Right.
And I wanted you to repeat because I got a phone number up. I want to make sure that I have it correctly before I put it on the screen.
678 760-9299.
Okay.
And we're at 1830 Cheshire Bridge Road in Atlanta.
Okay. Y'all definitely tap in. I'm just so you know, we're gonna be tapping. I'm gonna be tapping in with you, me and my goddess as well. Had some other things going, some personal things, and had to make a trip back home. But I will definitely be tapping in as well with the product. Just so y'all know, I've talked to her behind the scenes, and she's very well. It is a personal thing. We all have personal bodies, and we all have done different things for our bodies. And so, whenever I talk to her, you know, she was able to give me personal information about me and my body and things that they would actually help me personally versus, you know, giving a broad message and somebody kind of like stick to something. It's really customized and personalized to you. So I definitely suggest y'all go tap in with her and really, you know, get the jewels of life because that's what it is at this point. We're promoting life. You know, that's what I love about her message. I don't know what's going on with the turquoise. I chose this color before you even went.
Oh, okay, wow.
So I don't know what's going on.
That's deep.
You know, with the color psychology that's going on right now tonight with the turquoise. But it's a water color. It's the color of water. So that's what I resonated to, divine feminine energy, you know, that flow state, you know, and water is something that this is how you've been the whole time. You've been that water where it's like where it's calming and breathing peace to the ear, like where you can meditate. And then you also been in chaotic water where you came and just swooshed and just, you know what I'm saying, knocked down a few corporations. So I feel like that blue, that turquoise is a representation of feminine, of that water, that chaos, and the balance, that love. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll show you. And I definitely just saved the number, and I'll be calling and tapping in as well. I haven't heard somebody speak with such energy that's so edifying and vivifying and enlivening, you know, just to hear. You know, so I will personally be tapping in and using that number.
Very good. So the more each one of us understands how we harmonize with one another. The old school is that you have these conferences, you pay all this money to the hotels and to the planes, and you go and meet and you congregate and people give their lectures and papers and all of this. And I'm saying we don't have to do any of that.
Right.
We don't have to do any of it. Wherever you are always in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. It fills all spaces. It's all pervasive. There is nowhere where it is not. What is required is our acknowledgement of it. What is required is our recognizing it. What is required is our communication with it. You understand? Because people get confused. Well, I don't know. Who are you praying to? Before you can get it out, it's charging upon yourselves.
I say.
Particularly with the water. The water is programmable. So the more water you are, the more water-based you're eating, consuming fruit, vegetation, your herbs, and water, the more of the garbage you're getting out of the body, then the more your cells are activating, reprogramming, releasing the shame, the game, the guilt, the blame, the pain, all those issues. You're flushing them through. Why? Because you are focusing on your absolute reality. You're immersed in nothing but the divinity of existence. You're always in sacred space. There's nowhere you can go where it is not. There's nowhere you've been where it wasn't there. In your most self-denying moments, you were still in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. And it loves you so unconditionally that it is still beating your heart and still breathing you, regardless of what you've done to it.
Mm.
You understand? So I'm just saying, thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Who are you thanking? You're thanking that which is beating your heart and breathing you. You're thanking every atom, every cell of your being.
Mm.
Who are you loving? Every atom and every cell of your being. Who are you apologizing to?
Mm.
Every atom and every cell of your being.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's powerful.
Who are you forgiving?
Mm.
Yourself.
Mm.
Thank
For
you.
your for yourselves.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
No,
so
you're
powerful.
right.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Open up.
Mm.
Love. Loving is nourishing, nurturing, strengthening, encouraging, cherishing, treasuring, loving. Everything responds to love. Love is the fulfillment of the law. Love is the commandment.
Mm.
Mm.
So we can't love God with our whole body, heart, mind, and soul, and then feed off the fleshy carcasses.
Mm.
We missed it.
Mm.
We like our dogs and cats and things, and other ones eat the dogs and the cats. And you understand? I'm just saying, but other
Mm.
ones love the pigs and the chicken. Pigs are very intelligent people, but a lot of people is like, oh no, I got to have that for my bacon. You understand? I'm just saying,
Mm.
in order for us to really rise, we have to support the liberation of all orders of existence.
Mm.
We have no contribution to make to the world except as resurrected beings.
Mm.
Shit.
Not our music, not our dancing, not our ball playing, not our dropping it like it's hot, not
Mm.
our contribution is in the divinity of our being, the sacredness
Mm.
and the sanctity of life and the integrity with which we walk
Mm.
as the children of God, disciples of truth, as bearers of light,
Mm.
as those who are honoring our duty, obligation, and responsibility to the lineages through whom we've come. And on behalf of those who are with us, and on behalf of those who've come through us, on behalf of those that we didn't allow to come, and on behalf of those who've yet to come.
I
Shit.
say, I say, I say, oh,
Mm.
I couldn't have asked for a greater push and rebirth. You know, this is an amazing rebirth time. Family accepted, like she said, cleanse. When we talk about these cleanses of the body, spiritually, emotionally, all that is the same. It's not going to feel so good though at the beginning. You
Mhm.
gotta cry. You may gotta scream. You might
Mm-hmm.
feel these certain things that you have to release, but release. You know, it's a time of release so that you can accept. You know, when we say rebirth, we think about a birth. You know, something is being that is life coming through a portal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so everything that Adama is saying, that how can you have life come through a portal for you right now in this in this seven energy of this manifestation, this magical time that we're in? How can you have life come through the portal if you're still attached into death?
Mm.
It's
Can't be
impossible.
done.
I say, you know, so we must this is an area that I think we keep trying to balance out in this realm. It's not an area of balance I'm seeing from this conversation. This is not an area of balance. This is an area of takeover. We have to detach and connect. You know, get back connected to you know, oneness, wholeness, truth, and disconnect from death. We can't
Mm-hmm.
keep balancing back and forth. Like I said, you can't eat fruit today, you know, and then eat, you know, chicken tomorrow, like she's saying. And we do that same thing emotionally. I'm loving my brother today and I'm hating him tomorrow. You
Can't
know,
serve two masters.
I'm listening to high vibrational music today, and tomorrow I'm listening to death music about killing. You know, we can't. We have to choose. It's kind
Right.
of like the Bible say, lukewarm. You know, that lukewarm place is no longer in this area. It's impossible. It cannot. It cannot live. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I say.
Absolutely. The beauty of what it is to be man, to know the love of a woman, to know what it is to really love. You know, to know the sanctity and the sacredness of yourselves and the divinity of your life force, your life currency, and your sperm. You understand? Men, y'all have to come to be conservative with yourselves. You understand? See, this trick that have you in a place where you feel as though you can just ejaculate and waste your seed and be over here and be over here. I'm just saying, is that that's depletion. That's depletion. You understand? We have so many ones, your elders, your fathers, your uncles. You understand this cancer, the prostate. All of this, I'm just saying, is that we've been under a trick to make us careless with ourselves. When you will never have anything greater than yourself. You see the guys at the car wash, they vacuuming their trucks and their cars, and they polishing them up and this and that, but then they look like they 5, 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, and then they in the lines at Wendy's, and you understand? I'm saying we have this frequency. Our things do not have greater value than our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our bloodstream.
Come on now.
These bodies will regenerate. Those vehicles, those cars, those trucks, those motorcycles, those 18-wheelers, whatever, they will not regenerate. We put all of this money into those things. And then are cheap with ourselves.
Ain't that a reality check?
A flesh burger. You understand? I'm just saying, we have to change this narrative. It is for each one of you to be disciples of truth, to be bearers of light, to be in a place and space where you will have the conversation. You understand? You will do what is yours to ensure that those who come into your frequency and vibration, that they are better because of it. See, we get what we ask for. You understand? We get what we ask for. We get what we ask for. You all don't have anything that you didn't ask for.
That's heavy.
That's your power too. That's also your power.
Exactly. So why would you not be asking to walk the face of this earth as some of the most dynamic spirits on the planet and be willing to have the integrity that allows you to do that?
Yeah.
But integrity don't come easy when you've been fed like a kid. And then at 21, you were labeled and you were in the fullness of adulteration. Integrity is something we have to reach for. We have to claim it. We have to want it. The integrity of who you are is this point of the presence of an absolute and supreme intelligence. Integrity in terms of who you are as one who is the gift on behalf of the lineages that you represent. Integrity as to who you are as a lover of life, an exalter of truth, one who nourishes and nurtures and strengthens and ensures the progression of our children, whether they came through your womb or loins or not. You understand? I've been in the company of so many sisters. It's like we don't trust our children with men anymore, or those who are declared to be called men. We don't trust our children with men because of our violation, because of the molestation, because of the rape, because of the breach of integrity in terms of and being the security of those who are protectors as well as providers and support. You understand? So there's a lot, the work that there is to do is in the caring, the loving, the forgiving, the honoring, the exalting, the cleansing, the purification, the releasing. Talk about release, you got to release all of that garbage. When you think about how much money you spend eating out, You understand? There is no vegan vegetarian restaurant that you can eat out consistently and heal from anything.
I'll say to that.
You understand? I'm just saying, no, none of these ones, and I don't even know. I could just make this broad statement: is that those who are trying to ride the wave of people being more conscious about what they're eating have set themselves in business to profit. They are not in business to facilitate your healing.
Mhm.
None of what you get in those restaurants is going to be healing you.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, well, we want to support the vegan vegetarian restaurants. Y'all need to be eating at home.
Exactly. even your family, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. I went to Texas and I had family, they was cooking, even my mama. I had to tell her, my wife, she cooked all our food and we took it with us and everything. But I only eat from my home. If my wife didn't cook it or I cook it, I don't eat it.
Right.
And so my mama was like, I'm your mama, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna eat my food. And I'm just letting y'all know, like, it may feel extreme, but that's really how you gotta be, because people don't have the same principles and values that we have. So they will give you death without even knowing that it's death, in just without lack of perspective. You know, so we gotta protect ourselves.
And if you're the only one of your family, if you are the only one of your family that's trying to clear, cleanse, purify, consecrate, step on the path of life, feel good. Pat you understand? Represent them. You understand? Represent them.
Yeah.
And while you're doing your stuff in your isolation, your solitude, because you can't be around them watching them kill themselves,
right?
then you be giving thanks to be an honor and a glory unto them. To truly be an honor and glory to them. Those whose names you can call, those whose names you'll never know. We're not here under our own auspices. We've got DNA inheritance. Now we might have to go back a few, generations. We might have to go back a few generations, but you still have to acknowledge the greatness of the lineages to whom you've come, because you will never have anything greater than what's already gifted to you. That's why you want to clear, cleanse, consecrate, because the cellular liberation allows for the DNA activation.
Okay. Everybody want DNA activation.
They don't want to do the clearing and the enemas. The enemas on a daily basis. Man, I got to do an enema daily. I said, are you brushing your teeth daily?
Yeah.
So
that's deep, ain't it? Perspective, boy. I tell you, perspective is key.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you brush your teeth, Eddie.
I know, because one brother said, "Well, I do them every 3 or 4 months. I do a cleanse." I said, "But are you brushing your teeth every 3 or 4 months?"
Sheesh.
We're talking about how do we respond to being under a global initiative of depopulation, zero population, and genocide. This is not just having fun. This is proper response to being warred against, where they're trying to make sure that you do not live. And that as long as you're living, you are a pawn, a cash cow in a system of sickness, illness, disease, and death as multi-trillion-dollar industry. So no, what I'm talking about requires daily due diligence. Not every now and again. Not when you just feel like it. I'm talking about how do you love God, the intelligence of being, the supreme intelligence, with your whole body, heart, mind, and soul, when it is beating your heart and breathing you for all of the days of your life. And now you're telling me that you cannot commit to it when it has already proven itself to you. You can't commit to that which is beating your heart and breathing you to become a clearer, cleaner vehicle and vessel for its love, its light, its wisdom, and its truth. Why can't you do it? Because of your job, really? Go to bed earlier, get up earlier, do your work. You understand? See, it's going to take a whole nother kind of spirit to do what I'm suggesting you do.
Right.
You understand? It's going to take a whole nother quality of spirit to do what I'm suggesting we do in boycotting the death industries and creating a global work stoppage. Make this shit work without us working it.
Because it can't. We are the algorithm.
Right.
Yeah.
See, we gotta have something else going on with ourselves. But because the only success is in the establishment of the kingdom of God, then y'all got to master the godliness, the cleanliness, the order, the obedience, the discipline, the care, the love, the mercy, the compassion. That's the work. But you cannot do it if you will not go through the daily cleansing, because the body is trying to cleanse anyway. We are just not cooperating with it. You understand? When a sister said to me, she says, well, I'm 5'2" and I'm like 98 pounds. And I said, well, did you see me on the screen? She said, yeah, I saw you. I was probably about 90 pounds. She said, oh, you didn't look that little. How big is, how heavy is God? How heavy is God? How heavy is the intelligence of existence that's in the air? It's everywhere. You understand? It's strong enough to hold worlds and realms in flotation and orientation. It is that which is the substance of that which cannot even be seen. That is one of the most powerful things in terms of the atom. So y'all gonna be steeped in all of this muck and mire, all this extra waste, and think that just because you do a 30-day fast, that you good after 40 years of meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and fish. It's not gonna happen. You might feel a little better.
Yeah.
But the poison is still there. The cancer is still forming. Cancer is not something that just shows up one day. Cancer is in formation from the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the Takis, the Doritos. All this stuff is cancer causing. All right. So I'm just saying is that at this particular point in time, we calling on you to raise completely up. No excuses. Make it happen. Do your work. Be in it to win it. You understand? Not on our watch, okay? Y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want to do, but you will no longer have any influence in us not doing what God intended us to do.
That's right.
By hook or by crook. You're saying by any means necessary? No. By clearing, cleansing, consecrating, purifying, renewing, regenerating, rejuvenating. That's the prescription.
Yeah, this come with instruction. The guidance is already there. You don't got to look no further. It's already here. If you was wondering how, there you go.
You just got the blueprint. Yep.
Because sometimes, you know, and where we come from is lack of awareness.
Yeah.
Lack of the information. But
or the other aspect, the lack of knocking, seeking, and asking.
Come on now. Yep.
You understand? So the issue is this: you see your body blowing up. What you gonna do? You're not gonna try to figure that shit out. You understand? You just gonna continue to blow up and blow up and blow up because you weren't aware that this stuff is poisoning you. You're experiencing the poisoning, You're bleeding
right.
all month long. You're having these issues. You're cranky. You can't make love. You can't do nothing. You feel bad. You have to knock and ask and seek and pray.
Right.
Mhm.
But you know what's deep about the example you gave earlier about the man with the car, how he cleaning his car. Let something go wrong with that car, man. Let something go
Ooh.
wrong under that hood. Oh, he finna take that thing to the mechanic. He need to know
Yeah.
what's going on with it. He might go on Google and diagnose it himself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But when it comes to our bodies,
Right.
you will wait a whole year, but you will give your car oil change. But you
Right.
would go a whole year without drinking real water, H3O with any
Mm.
fruits and any. But you would get your car oil change. You know, like that's.
Right.
I just think
It's
that's
that's
deep, and
yeah.
that's they tricked us psychologically, family.
It's a
Right.
You know what I'm
cultural
saying? Like
delusion.
they what's really important is not important, and what they put as not important is actually very important. You know, like
Yeah.
we're almost living in the world in the opposite way. And that's
Mhm.
why us, as they call chosen ones or enlightened ones or spiritual ones, whatever you want to call it, we kind of get the slack or the flack, or people get upset with us because it seems unknown, it seems impossible, it seems crazy, because
Mhm.
we're literally presenting them a new world in their world. You know what I'm saying? We walk in these rooms, they feel us because it's a whole new world, a whole new dimension walking into the room. We're shifting paradigms everywhere we go. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so, truthfully, I would just say what I can say is even with my conversations today with my family, it's a new energy on the planet. People got questions. People
Mhm.
are more open. People are more ready. The problem is that they're running into doors of trauma. People that got information, but they ain't put in the work within. So they're being egotistical. They're looking at information as a way to look down on another being, when really, as Adama is saying, your breath, you see what I'm saying, is the most powerful thing you have. The
Mhm.
fact that you have breath, we are all the same. Nobody's greater and better than anyone. It's the ashe that we breathe is what makes us one. So once again, family, believe in yourself. Well, know thyself, because to believe means not to know. So I would say know thyself, family. Like she said, we're not focused on what they doing. We are the algorithm. This is a
Mhm.
takeover. She talked about the Black Panthers, and we can give many other stories of how we saw these revolutionary things happen and crumble and fall.
Right.
So obviously we're this. She's saying this is the way
This is
to
the real
truly believe.
revolution. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be thwarted. The establishment of the kingdoms and queendoms of God and the eternal order and the eternal government is already here. We
Mm.
need to participate with it.
I say.
We need to understand that there is not anything or anyone who can create a greater way, a greater agenda. There are no ones who can outthink the intelligence of existence. We
Hmm.
think by virtue of being these points of intelligence of existence, but for you to be feeling that there's some profit in undermining another one. So the intelligence of existence is so intelligent that it's not going to kill itself over here to exalt itself over here. It's not going to defile itself and enslave itself over here to make itself look great over here. You understand? All that's distortion. Nobody's come to the planet to be stupid. We're all intelligences of existence, and there's the misuse and the abuse and the violation, which we call evil.
Mhm.
So when you look at the word evil and you spell it backwards, it's live. So the forces are evil are those forces that undermine the integrity of life.
I say.
When you look at the word devil, it's lived with the D.
Yeah.
The devil are those ones who are trying to make life, which is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal, a past tense reality.
Mm.
When you have to qualify food as health food, you know it's a problem.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But what are you, a health nut? You're just a nut.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm just saying, what kind of nut are you going to be?
Yeah.
So the issue is no, we're intelligences of existence. You don't see the squirrels overeating and get so fat that they're falling off the wires.
Hmm.
Mm.
You understand? I'm just saying, everything knows its food. It excretes its waste. It knows its kind. It perpetuates itself. and it will respond when it senses that its life is being threatened. So those ones who feel as though eating fish is better than eating chicken, right?
Please talk about it.
When that fish is caught with a hook, it is living the rest of its time fully traumatized. Its tissues are being permeated with its fear, its frustration, its anguish, and its angst. In addition to all of the poison that it was swimming in, now saturating in its tissues, plus the worms and the organisms that are there. And then y'all eating off of this. So every being loves its life, where it will flee, it will fight, it will attack, it will, when it senses that its life is being threatened, it's going to respond. I stepped out my backyard one day and I saw the fox chasing the rabbit. That rabbit was like hopping. You know, laying up and say, come and get me, come and get me. It was like, it was running. When I stepped out and then the fox saw me, then the fox ran this way. You understand? So no, creatures have an innate sense to protect their lives. All right, but the people are laying up with the ones who are penetrating them. That tobacco, that black and mild, those chemicals, those 100 and some chemicals in those cigarettes. No other intelligence lays up with what is going to kill it. Just these little things. So I'm here to make sure that we have an understanding and understanding and the opportunity to be resolutely standing with that which allows us to stand. You cannot outthink the intelligence of existence. You cannot outlove it, outlast it, outplan it, outplot it. It is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal, and it is permeating and penetrating every fiber of our being. The clearing, the cleansing, the purification, the consecration allows for the liberation at the cellular level. And I can guarantee you that you will consistently and continuously be getting stronger and brighter and more and more and more of the divinity of who you are will come, so that as you're maturing, that is the insurance that you will come to leadership. You can't be afraid of leadership, but the leadership is in light. It is in truth. It is in wisdom. It is in the amount of peace and poise that you have as a result of assuming your birthright to be right, to be corrected, to be rightly aligned, to be remembered into the house of God, to be supremely intelligent to the degree to which the awesomeness, the dynamic, it's just absolutely freaking amazing. We will be absolutely freaking amazing. You understand? They've never seen what we're about to do. They've never seen anybody do it.
We here now. We here now, though.
You understand? It's an all call for all of us to participate. This is how we harmonize. This is how we get beyond the divisiveness. This is how we heal. This is how we have the wherewithal to attract whatever it is we need in order to set up the places where we can be truly healed and cleansed, where we can create the institutions that ensure the liberation of our lineages, where we have the wherewithal to harmonize with whatever other group of people, so that one, you see that Africa is still the breast of the earth in the terms of the resources that are being mined, that are allowing these computers and cell phones and all of this, but Africans are not producing any of these things.
Right.
China's in there. This one is going. You understand? So I'm just saying, those of us who really get to be in a place where we are in the restoration the reconciliation, the harmonization, the exaltation of being who we are. We cannot even begin to estimate in this now moment what we can truly accomplish as a global reality. There are a lot of people wanting to go back to Africa. They're going to Belize. They're going to, you understand, with American ideals and principles. We got to cleanse because we want the world to function like what we're comfortable with here.
Yeah.
And some people have done that, you understand, but at this particular point in juncture, we don't have to go anywhere. We have to stay put. Get those feet firmly grounded in the soils of absolute truth, and let us raise completely up wherever we are.
I say.
So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Part of the beauty of what it is I do, in my experience, is that I get a chance to really see the transformations in people. Absolutely freaking amazing. The beauty, the strength. You understand? To really see the transformation. Particularly with my circle and those who are circling with me consistently. I am so pleased to know that when it comes time for me to leave, there will be so many more fully activated, fully charged, fully in the light of the truth of themselves. We have to make our lives count. We have to make our lives matter. We have to see ourselves bigger. We have to play bigger. You understand? You might be this big. You're like the atom. You can't even see the atom, but the reality of it is that that's one of the reasons why we're poisoned. Why? Because we're made with trillions of atoms.
Come on, talk about it.
So what does that mean? That means that when we get charged, all right, when we come to that place where we're using our voice and we're using our thought and we're using our intelligence and our intention and our will and our care and whatnot to walk in the light of the truth of this supreme intelligence, we become atomic force upon this planet. No, they don't want to see it, but that's all right. They're going to see it anyway.
Yeah.
They
ain't got no choice.
If they want. They could try to do whatever the hell they want to do. Issue is, no, we raising up. Are we raising up? Are we raising up? Are you raising up? Are you clearing, cleansing? Are you going to do this work? I'm just saying. What else are you going to do that makes sense? There's not a freaking thing you can do that makes sense. Atomic. You understand? So no, we got to have a vision and a value for the who that we are. Creator knowledge, creation knowledge, and self-knowledge are the trinity for how we become a resurrected people.
I say, wow.
How do we create? We have to have the vision. We have to have the value. We have to sow the seeds. We have to be in the sense of consistency and diligence over time. We have to have the discipline. How everybody else accomplishes what they ever accomplish in terms of their proficiency. Right? Proficiency is ball players. Proficiency is dancers. Proficiency is musicians. You had to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. Right? So to become proficient in the light of the truth of the who you are at this point of the presence of an absolute and supreme intelligence is daily due diligence. It's loving, it's forgiving, it's releasing, it's letting go, it's consistently checking yourself. That praying without ceasing. How do you do that? You do that like you're breathing. Focusing your thought, your gratitude, your thanksgiving, considering it, reflecting on it, meditating on it, having it while you're washing dishes, while you're cleaning the toilets, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you are always in a place where you can turn your conscious thought towards your creator. towards that which is beating your heart. You can always express your gratitude and your thanksgiving. Oh, absolute and supreme intelligence, I am so grateful and so thankful for each and every beat of my heart, for every breath that I've taken. I thank you so much for the lineages through whom I've come. I thank you that I am answering the call. I thank you that there is nothing in me that is resistant to your absolute love for me. And by virtue of you giving me the opportunity to experience the degrees of liberation and salvation, and I'm already experiencing, I am loving you with my whole body, heart, mind, with all of my might. I consciously care to be counted into this movement of the resurrection. I thank you that I am whole body, heart, mind, life, and soul. I thank you for the clearing, the cleansing, the purification, the renewal, the rebirth. Forgive me for my transgressions and my trespasses as I forgive everything and everybody. I stand right now in the reality of your presence as all there is, asking to be remembered into the community of the kingdoms and queendoms of God. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your light. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for the truth. Thank you for the discipline. Thank you that I am more today than I have ever been. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door will be open. You said to love you. Teach me how to love you with my whole body, heart, mind, with all of my might, so that I am truly a glory and a blessing unto you as all there is. Thank you for the salvation. Thank you for the deliverance. Thank you for the exaltation. Thank you for the divinity of being. Thank you for every tear, for all of that which you've given me, so that I am walking in the truth and the wealth and the richness of all that I am as a blessing unto all.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm holding back tears, yo. I ain't gonna cap. That was
Man,
just
what?
so powerful. Like I felt it in my soul. It really resonated in my soul. Just yeah, we gotta get more serious, y'all. Like real talk. It's not a trend. This is not a trend. You know what I'm saying? I know it's became like a trend, but we gotta, I mean, the elders here letting us know, family, we gotta get serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't feel that in your soul, I don't know what to tell you, but man, wow. Yeah.
And so you're knocking, seeking, asking, praying without ceasing. I mean, this is stuff that we've always heard, but we ain't seen nobody do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We have to do what we've not seen done.
I'll say.
And when it comes to those enemas, you can't listen to people who've never done them. Well, you know you can't do those enemas because if you do them enemas every day, you get to a point where your bowels can't move. But I'm saying y'all's bowels ain't moving anyway.
Oh man.
We done got the civil rights movement, the Black Power movement, the lesbian, gay, and all that movement, and all these other movements, just to get to a point where ain't nobody's bowels moving. So that's how you know.
that needs to be the next big movement. Needs to be the bowel movement.
The bowel movement. You get an enema. You get an enema.
Right. Not like that.
Oh man.
Let that shit go. Stand in the light of the clearing, the cleansing, the purification, the renewal, the rebirth. Be light as a feather. Be in a place and space where you are right. If you got to be as thin as the twig on the freaking tree and stand in the power of your atomic self, then go ahead and do that. Be that thin. Be that skinny. Well, sister, I was losing so much weight. I say you were losing waste. You can always renew and revitalize, revivify, and rebirth yourself. But don't be afraid of losing the waste. And y'all in there sculpting all this sludge. You understand? Fitness and health are not necessarily the same thing. You sculpting sludge. You dropping all that protein down. That protein becomes cancer. So in this now, yeah, we
making it hard as a rock.
We we are intelligences of existence who've come from another realm of eternity into this realm of temporality, physicality, corporality, materiality, not to be enslaved to our sensuality or our sexuality, but to understand the oneness of the life force and to raise it completely up so that we are able to be trusted in the perpetuation of the lineages through whom we've come. And even if you don't have children, you still have duty, obligation, and responsibility to the lineages in making sure that children are supported in becoming real men and real women. Whether you're teachers, whether you are nurses, it don't matter. Being men and being women is sufficient. Whatever you do for money, if it's not aiding you in the quality of beings that you are walking as, you'll only do it for a little while anyway until you get a better thought.
Right.
But you have to invest in yourself. You have to honor yourself. You have to increase that life currency consistently over time, regenerate, rejuvenate, revitalize, and be whole, and be healed, and be real. Real love, real light, real wisdom, real truth, real peace, real poise, real power, real potency. See, they paid a lot for them degrees they got, right? They got that associate degree, that bachelor's degree, that master's degree, that PhD, that Juris Doctor, that DDS, whatever those, How about 360 degrees of love, light, wisdom, truth, peace, poise, power, potency, prosperity, wealth, riches, integrity, high ethic, morality, compassion, mercy. You understand? 360 degrees. We talking wholeness here. That's integrity. You are some of the most dynamic spirits on the face of this earth. And it's all right. You don't have to dim your light to make people comfortable. You understand? The sun, we got to be like the sun. How's the sun? She blazing. Right now on the other side, we done turn this way. So it's dark over here. It's light over here. She's still blazing. Ain't nobody really in no tizzy about where's the sun. Right? The sun don't care who putting on sunshades, sunglasses, sunblock, sunscreen. She don't really care. She gonna blaze anyway. I'm saying that's how y'all gotta be. You gotta be like the earth. You can take whatever kind of shit coming your way and make something beautiful out of it.
Oh man,
but that's a fact.
You dropping bars now. I don't know.
I'm about to say, right.
We went into a spoken word real quick. You know, like wow.
Oh, the wisdom encapsulated in that.
Yeah, turn. You know how nature be too. It's just like you will see a tree that looks so perfect and a tree that look right next to it that you see the imperfectness in it, but it's all beautiful. You know what I mean? Like it's all pure beauty. That's facts.
So don't be feeling no way. I'm just saying, I'm trying to encourage you all to go ahead and take this thing on and know that you have support. And know that you're very welcome. And know that I'm the one, right? I've been doing this for so long. But I'm not tired. You understand? I'm not weary. I'm not gonna let the hard-headed ones and all of the ones who crying and complaining, I don't let people thwart me. Ones who won't listen, I keep doing what I do. You understand? See, our progression and our success cannot be measured by those who won't. Our progression and our success is measured by our continuing to push forward and to stand up and raise up regardless of whoever else. You understand? Because when it comes, we each came into this world through the wombs of our mothers, we came by ourselves. And when it come time to leave, we will more than likely leave by ourselves. So if you find yourself in a position where it seems to be lonely, enjoy it. Enjoy your time with yourself. That you don't have to have other people in your ear and other people in your space. And even if you do, you still have access to your own mind. You can be praying, infusing every atom and every cell of your being with your loving God, with your whole body, heart, mind, and be in a sea of people. That's the kind of focus and intention that we have to have. You cannot allow anybody to get in the way of your progression, to get in the way of your consecration, to get in the way of your purification, to get in the way of your initiation.
Sure.
And if you find that your wives or your husbands are not there, it's okay, because they don't beat your heart and they don't breathe you. That would beat your heart and breathes you is the one that's really loving you the most. You understand? Your husband, your wife can't love you more than that, which is beating your heart and breathing you. And so that is where the real love starts. That's the foundation of our marriages. That's the foundation of our business partnerships.
Right.
That's the foundation of any progression right now. And if people are not willing to do that, then you know that those are not the right ones. If they're not willing to hear, they're not willing to listen, they're not willing to cleanse, they're not willing to stop, you do you. And then in your most private moments where you put in your gratitude and your thanksgiving, then just put your prayers in there for them. I see you whole, body, heart, mind, and soul. You have to begin to make the magic work. We talk about the alchemy and the mysticism and all of this. Make it practical. Make it practical. So that it's the only thing that a resistant person can do for you is give you more power in knowing how to disarm their resistance. Yeah, you understand? There's a way. So that's how the truth do. You understand? But if you give up, then you don't develop those God muscles. You understand? You don't develop those God muscles. And I'm saying we have to develop them. I've been in this 40 some years already. I've talked to all kinds of people from all kinds of walks. The intention is not to create dissension or confusion or combativeness. The intention is to have a conversation where we are harmonizing in the reality of how divinely blessed we each are and the responsibility that we have wherever we are to exalt a full effort in our living to come to a point and place where we care to show up and show out in our now moment of eternity. Now the issue is, how much love do you have? How much care do you have? So you find a lot of people say, well, you know, sister, you know, people have to find their own way. They in their own journey, all of this journey. I'm like, okay, really, really? You're on the path of death. That's the journey you're on.
Right.
Going straight to hell. And I'm not satisfied with leaving you there.
Right.
I can detach. I don't have to be emotionally conflicted and all, you know, deeply. I don't have to be all attached. I'm not attached. I do care.
Yeah.
I care. There's no way that I could do what I do if I didn't care.
Right.
But if you, in light of everything that I'm saying, persist in killing yourself, have at it. Because before, my experience is that when I have been so close to people who were at that crossroads of dying, nobody was happy to be there.
That's facts.
You understand? Nobody was happy to be there.
Mm.
I never
Nobody.
went to a hospital where they was somebody was happy to be in that bed.
Right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Let's get real about what we really care to have as our experience.
Yeah.
But to be glib about having the right to eat whatever you want, to smoke and drink and violate your blood, to support the violation of other beings, then know that you are headed for a tragic date with fate that will end in death. Now, in the realm of eternity, how long will you be dead? And that's why we don't want this to be a real slow process. We want it to be a daily. You understand? You see how quickly the time is passing. So every day that you're doing your due diligence, every day you're getting more and more progression within yourself. And then after a while, you begin to quantum leap.
Right.
You understand? And then people looking at you and they're trying to figure out, what have you been doing? Because the transformation becomes obvious. And it's just by virtue of your consistency and your diligence over time.
Mm-hmm.
And the time is passing anyway.
And like you said earlier, it's about the integrity. It's about what you're doing when nobody's watching. It ain't about what you're doing when you're on live, when you're giving that esoteric information on, through your music, through this and that, whatever you're doing. No, it's when you wake up, how you loving your family, how you loving your wife, your family, your friends, how you talking to the person at the grocery store. How do people remember you?
Right.
You know, that's powerful.
Sure.
So on behalf of all of those who could not, who did not know how to, right? In my interview with Vegan Linked with Jeff, I'm saying that most progression comes through sacrifice. Somebody has to die before other ones here to do it. How many people died in car accidents before seatbelts were a standard issue? You understand? So for where we are in this now moment, the passing of your family members and those that you love, use that as fuel to fire your commitment to walk the walk that allows you to honor and to glorify them in the memory of the love and the care, the exchange of energy, the memories. But we cannot just sit back and watch our people dwindle away with the cancer and the heart disease and be treated like guinea pigs and cut up on and butchered and all of this stuff, and then continue to do the same thing that got them there and think that we'll have a different outcome.
Right.
Be in a place where you demand of yourself the accountability and the responsibility to be well, to be healthy. And see, health has to be qualified now, because what? Because you have all of these people who look like they fit and they could do all of these things, but they didn't outthink the system of death. Not our congressmen, not our senators, not our judges, not our lawyers. Nobody outthought this. And so I'm just saying, in this now moment, as men, the progenitor of lineages, and womb men, the perpetuator of lineages, we're here to serve life. We're here to exalt life. We're here to rejoice in living. We're here to be uncompromising with the integrity of who and what we are as these points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. You understand? There isn't a greater work to be done, and there isn't a better time than now.
Mhm.
Yeah, what a time to be alive is what we say all the time.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
what a time to be alive. This is a great time to be alive. You know, sometimes it seems like the worst time to be alive, but it's all about your perspective.
Hmm.
You know, and what I'm hearing in this conversation as well, family, is that liberation is wholeness. Wholeness and liberation go one in hand. There, you know, and so
Yes.
there's a lot of incomplete. We're walking around with half of ourselves and connecting with other half of people. Basically, we're creating wholeness with many little pieces of everything
Hmm.
instead of connecting with self and becoming whole with self and pulling these pieces of self and connecting with true life. You know,
Right.
so wholeness. You know, wholeness, family. Like she broke down that word, and we talk about holistic. I just thought that was very powerful. And we talk about holistic, and you talk about health, and you're like, yo, it doesn't have that W. It's still missing the wholeness. So
Hmm.
at this point, family, you can be eating healthy. That's one part. But now you got to do the other side as well, which is going within and hitting that trauma and really, um, like you said, being the change that you want to see. You know, me and Kyle did the 223 project, the mixtape that just released, and that the whole it's the seven energy, but it's the 223. Why? On the cover it has a 223 and it has a crystal on the top of it. That
Mm-hmm.
223 is a bullet representing the deaf industry, the deaf culture that they pushing on us in the music.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, but we put a crystal on top of that 223 to let them know that we're weaponizing and crystallizing and alchemizing that energy and taking our power back and using it against them. And so this is what we have to do, family, all across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's time to alchemize and use this energy against them. And when we're doing that, we're really taking our energy back. We're really bringing everything back to its original source. They have they have they have almost like poisoned our pure sources of nature and love, our pure frequencies that we are that she's speaking on. You know, it takes me back to the movie Avatar, man. Like I watched the number two. I'm not gonna go in on it, but just how they live in unity and oneness. And if there was war on one, there was war on all.
Hmm.
You know, they didn't separate the war. They didn't separate the love. They didn't separate. You know, and so we have to get back to that tribal mentality. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, of wholeness.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm nothing without you, and you're nothing without me, and we are everything with each other because we're everything technically, you know, connected with source. We are all connected with source. We are all divinely, like as she spoke over and over, we are divinely connected with the Ashe. When we breathe our breath, we are breathing the Ashe of life. So, you know, why use this powerful energy to hate?
Mm.
It's a waste of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it will come back. Like she said, it will, as we talk about in the new term nowadays, is spin the block. With that energy will spin the block and come back around right back at you because of what you put out there. Just like that chicken is creating, or that pork is creating that heart attack. So we have to understand everything we're doing. You cannot um not align with the law of cause and effect. That is a real thing, and it will, and it happens over and over. And so what she's speaking on is how we can break that curse. We can break the curse, family. We don't have to live cursed anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to embrace the curse.
Mm-hmm. And it's not really a curse as much as it is just the toxicity.
Hmm.
You understand? Because when
Okay.
people talk about the family curses, I'm saying, well, those families that beat and raped and subjugated and violated and walking in Buckingham Palace, are they talking about their family curses?
Hmm.
No, they
Hmm.
walk royals. Now, England is
Hmm.
a very small place on the planet.
Right.
All right, but these ones, the dukes, the duchess, all of those ones, right, who
Mhm.
are the beneficiaries of the enslavement, the oppression of the people, and the extraction of the gold, and the violation of Mother Earth and whatnot in the places where Black people originate. I'm just saying these ones are not walking like they're cursed
Right.
for as much violation as they are benefiting from, or so they think.
Right.
But there was a saying that as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Those who were made high will be brought low, and those who were low will be brought high. So we're having to really imagine how you walk when your parentage is not just kings and queens. When you are the son and daughter of eternity.
Yeah.
What's that walk? How do you walk when you realize that your parentage is divinity? How do you walk? That's the mindset that you're having to regain.
I see.
You were told to ask and it would be given. Who are you asking? You were told to knock and the door would be open. You were told to seek and you would find. You weren't told to depend upon those who beat you and raped you, enslaved you, miseducated you, lied to you, indoctrinated you. You weren't told to look to them for a solution and answer for freedom. You can't depend upon those who enslaved you to be the source of your freedom in truth. We always had duty, obligation, and responsibility to seek the divinity of ourselves. We never had to prove our parity and equality with a people who also needed to be liberated from the defilement of the rot of pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken and alcohol and tobacco and sugar and pastries and pastas and all of this garbage. That's what makes them the way that they are. They get cleaned up. I love it how they get cleaned up. They get cleaned up and they make shit happen. You understand? That video that people are seeing of me, that was not produced by anybody that looks like us. That vegan link, that whole channel. He wants to create a vegan world. I say, well, I don't know so much about a vegan world, but being in a place and space where we are restored in the light of the truth of who we are, the children of God, I see that.
Right.
Because veganism is not the issue. Righteousness is the issue. Cleanliness and order and lawfulness is the issue. Discipleship and discipline is the issue. Duty, obligation, responsibility, and the exaltation of life is the issue. Not just giving this up or giving that up and eating this. We're not human eaters. We're intelligences of existence. We're not to be divided based upon what we eat, but now that's the new divisiveness.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm a raw foodist. Oh, well, I do cook food. Well, I don't do this. Well, I don't. No, we're all intelligences of existence and our bodies are designed perfectly. And we all need cleansing. We all need purifying. We all need to be reduced to the most essential essence of ourselves, which is light and spirit and energy and intelligence.
So I have a question. I think you actually asked this over the phone. But we talk about cleansing, and we talked about how you can eat 40 years, of these certain type of foods, and then do a 30-day fast, and it's not really going to reciprocate, the results that people are necessarily looking for, thinking that they're doing based off of the trend-based vegan, information that's out here. So how long do you think someone should be consistent? Obviously, you said every day doing the enemas. So you feel like that every day for the rest of your life, you should be doing a cleanse every day to
and your body is literally trying to cleanse every day. That's why we bathe every day.
Right.
All I'm saying is that we in our minds, we all right with brushing our teeth and bathing every day, but then cleansing the internal every day after 20, 30, 40 years of shit, we don't want to do that. And I'm saying, no, do it.
Sure.
because you're going to get the benefit of that. Now, because the body is 80% water and so full of mucus,
Mm-hmm.
that change in the diet, but then we got the pesticides, the herbicides, we got the chemicals. The cancer is already forming in most people.
Right.
So yeah, be aggressive, be daily,
Mm.
consistently over time. I've known people who do the enemas 365 days, right? Every day. That's 365 gallons of clay water that they took up their rectum into their intestines. And then they stop. It becomes every other day. Then they do an avocado toast. I mean, it's very difficult to do what I'm saying, because I'm saying consistently over time. I ain't talking about a year. You doing a year cleansing, you did 40 years of garbage.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
The longer you go, the deeper the cleansing. So for those who are 40, 50, 60 years, and we were getting hot dogs and hamburgers with nitrates and nitrites and whatnot, the longer you go, the deeper the cleansing.
Mm.
Okay.
So I'm saying you want to add on to the quality of your life. You want to create the discipline of discipleship. You're not going to just be a disciple of truth for 30 days or 40 days or a year. This is your life. You're not going to be a son of God for a couple of years. This is your life. You're making application. Now, you applied to go to school, you applied for your cars, you applied for your loan, you applied for everything else. I'm saying you have to make a application to the kingdom of God by your consistency over time. So this is life as a result of being under the influence of a death culture. Anytime you're fasting, you should be taking enemas.
So someone asked, any specific enema cleanse that you suggest?
I'm really recommending my internal cleansing clay, which is this
Okay.
deep red clay and bentonite together. They work better together. We drink it, it begins to loosen up stuff, and then we flush the enema with it because it's magnetic. So what a lot of people don't realize, that when you eat carcass, the bacteria, the viruses, and the organisms are already in it. All right, but they will begin to burrow in your intestines.
Mm.
Some of these things are colorless, odorless. You don't see them, and then some of them are like worms, like spaghetti. Some of them are flukes. Some of them, you understand. So y'all can look at some of Yaki Awakens, his things about parasites. So you could go on Google and look at all the parasites. I mean, people's bodies are full of these things. All right, so you don't necessarily get to the root of that just by hitting it once and twice.
Right.
You want to be consistent. So the clay is magnetic, and then the herbs help to really nourish and cleanse your organs and your glands and give you the opportunity to really not have an appetite for all of the things that you've had an appetite for, which are generally nutritionally deficient.
Call this number, family. Like she said, it's a personal experience. It's not. She's like I said, I know personally, so I haven't been able to invest yet, and I will be soon. But I've definitely just had certain, that certain dialogue with her, and it's definitely a personalized situation, and she's definitely passionate about what she does. I was talking to my father earlier on the phone, and I was saying that we go to these doctors, but doctors are essentially, they're like mechanics. Well, a bad mechanic, like a bad mechanic in the hood that's constantly finding more problems to diagnose you with, to take more money and to put more stuff into your car, and just they are constantly nigger rigging stuff and not really ever fixing anything. And so she's not coming from a doctor aspect, but from a healer aspect. And so we originally had healers. We didn't have doctors. Our ancestors didn't have doctors. They had healers. And so Adama is a healer. And so you want to tap in with a healer. This is definitely the point of her being on this platform, besides enlightenment and awareness, but also for us to actually, for those that what would I say, desire the next level and growth and want to change and want to be healthier. Here you go. You know, you have someone right here. And she has a team. You know, she's doing what she's doing. Like I said, I just I'm really all about the heart space, people moving from their heart space. She moves from a heart space, very compassionate. Like she spoke a lot tonight about care. So I like to believe that you can't love without caring. You know, so she spoke a lot about caring, and I'm just letting you know that it's not a facade, or she's not just talking on the live. This is truly who she is. She has many other interviews out here as well. Go tap in her interview with Seven Circles, my good brother that actually connected me with her. Go tap in with that interview. But she's really out here putting in the work, and call this number, family, and tap in. You know what I'm saying? It may feel uncomfortable, but what I will say is that talk to her, and really any of us that are enlightened, we should have a desire for higher information and want to get to the root of things. So talk to her, and I promise you'll get to the root of why the enema will be good for you. You know what I mean? And why, if this conversation wasn't enough, you know what I
mean? And it should have been.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The cleansing that you need to do in order to bring children into the world in this now moment needs to be focused. You need to have it as an intention. We need to be in a place where we understand that all the cesarean sections that are happening is because of how much mucus and how much garbage is in the body, that it shuts down the nerve force. All right. We want to be in a place where your neurological function, your brain and energy is snap, crackling, and popping. You don't need to have these people have to cut your baby out. You understand? We're in a place where we have to get to the root of the divinity of right, obligation, and responsibility. We have the right to bring our children forward naturally. But when you have been feeding off of the body fluids of other beings and eating other people's fetuses, not so much. You understand? We got to understand the karmic energy of this.
Right.
So that we get really intensely intentional in our restitution, our repentance, our clearing from being in violation of the laws that govern our health. All right, that's a necessity, because if we never admit that we were in error, if we never admit it, and we just think, oh, well, that's how we was taught, but we were taught wrong. That was a scheme to oppress us from the beginning. But we are continually participating with it. And that's why we have to consciously care to be cleared from the emotional, mental violation, the trauma of it, cleansed from the chemicals, the hormones, the nitrates, the preservatives of it,
right.
Purified in our heart so that we are empathetic and compassionate for all beings to have the right to their lives, regenerating, rejuvenated through alkalization, hydration, oxygenation, so that we know that we cannot get a lot of real food out of all these little containers that they're putting on the market for you, saying, oh, well, just have this. This gives you everything you need. Not really.
Right.
But you need to care to be all of who you are in the fullness of the integrity, the high ethic, the morality, the sensibility, the compassion, the mercy, the forgiveness, the peace, the poise, the faith, the confidence, the will, the high ethic. I mean, just saying, those are the faculties or the virtues of character that ensure our progression.
Mm.
Hitler was vegetarian. So this is not about vegetarianism.
Right.
Hmm.
This is about the quality of beings that we are. The quality of women, the quality of men, quality of parents, grandparents, sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters, grandfathers and grandmothers. I'm just saying, we are the bridge between those who have come, those who are with us, those that we didn't allow to come, and those who have yet to come. There's no work
Mm.
upon the planet that is greater than being who we are as the perpetuator and the progenitor of lineages, imbued with the cosmic trust of ensuring the progression of the lineage and the representation of our lineages on behalf of the establishment of this eternal order
Mm.
and the eternal government and the kingdoms and queendoms of life.
I say.
Oh,
This
shit.
is money. Say, hey, money. That's money.
Mm.
Came
Beautiful.
at perfect divine timing. So, you know, I'm gonna come tap in with y'all real quick. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Y'all
Oh,
talking about divine government, divine intellect, and divine power. Let me come over here, you know,
I know,
show
right?
my divine light real
I
quick.
know. That's my boy. And so I appreciate you all. I gotta go. And I love you with the perfect love. I want for you that which I want for myself, that which I want for my son, to raise completely up and walk in the greatness of who you were born to be, in the fullness of who and all that you are as this point of the presence of God, Goddess. I want for you to be in a place where you have a full faith and the confidence and the knowing of the value of your contribution in this life, in your wholeness. I want for you that which I want for myself, to experience the fullness of the God, the riches and the wealth of God pouring forward in your life, that you can have whatever you like, do whatever you like, now that you know not to be a detriment to anything or anybody for any reason at any time. You understand? That you will be an honor and a blessing. I want to see us, and I see us as a resurrected force that cannot be reckoned. Boycott of the
That's
death
it.
industries, a global work stoppage, and our liberation as points and presence of absolute and supreme intelligence and the ultimate divinity that is man, woman, both and neither, on behalf of all orders of existence, all creatures, and every eye that sees.
Mm.
I say.
I'm on
Sure.
Thursday nights, WRFG.org, midnight to 3 a.m. bbsradio.com/Adama Speaks. There are archives there. And then the opportunity you have, if you're in Atlanta, to come to Mother Earth's Blessing at 1830 Cheshire Bridge Road. That's CHESHIRE, Cheshire Bridge Road. And to know that you can email me at adamaspeaks@gmail, or Mother Earth's Blessing at Gmail.
Mm.
So you're very welcome and always welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. This was
I say.
this was a pleasure and a wealth of information.
Yeah. An honor.
An
For
honor.
sure.
All
Yeah.
right, so I'm welcoming you and initiating you into the army of God.
I
Mm.
say. I was waiting on it.
I said.
I was waiting on it.
Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for our Zoom, to get everybody acclimated and begin to really create the strategy for how we organize across the planet.
I say, well, much gratitude to you again,
Yes.
and peace and wholeness to you. And we are very grateful. And this is noted and it is stamped in history for sure.
Absolutely.
I say.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, peace.
Enjoy your night. Love.
Peace.
Peace. So, man, very, very, very powerful message, very powerful gems. I'm honestly even trying to figure out what I'm gonna do when I get off this live, because anything that I had planned seemed like just not what I want to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes. I thought I was the only one feeling that way, but it's literally like I gotta reevaluate everything I was doing up until this point. And it's crazy because I'm sure you even resonate. We were already thinking we were on point for this 223 new year, but man, after that call, it's just like one of those moments where it's just like, So
and a breath of fresh air as well. Super breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Because like I said, that conversation was truly vivifying, edifying, enlivening. That was
Oh man!
What we call that raw and real frequency of, to be honest, the whole time I couldn't even bring myself to say much, because it was just,
You wasn't supposed to say too much.
I immediately went into the listening mode, man, because that's that raw and that real that you're not getting everywhere.
And the ancestors came, family, and they talked to us, family. So we got to show much gratitude to that, and much gratitude, to the Most High, much gratitude to her, much gratitude to self, So let's get it, to wrap up this episode of liberation and to boycott the deaf culture. It's only right to end this episode with the 223 project. So I'm going to play a record off the 223 project, which is aligning with the 7 energy. This project dropped today on SoundCloud. We are waiting for it to be released on all platforms. Kind of had like a little delay. But the record I want to play off the project is called Divine, because I feel like she really spoke and she really went in a lot on our divinity, and us tapping into our divinity. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this record is called Divine. It is me and Kai Khalil. We have a project, a mixtape, a soul tape, as bro would say, called 223. Like I said, it will be on all platforms here real soon. But as of right now, go to SoundCloud, type in King Manifest, Kai Khalil, 223 mixtape, and you can stream it now. But let's end on the right frequency with this sound wave frequency for the one time.
Yes, sir.
So divine, I am so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah, I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah, I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine. Telepathically reading the mind. On the road to life and I see the signs. I am the truth, ain't no use in me lying. You won't believe what I see in the sky. Astral travel when I'm going inside. Shadow work here got me starting to cry. I'm here to tell you that healing the vibe. I had to get out my element just to connect to the elements. Magical neuromelanin. Natural herb is my medicine. Dedicate my life. Raise the vibration of planet Kyle. I'd rather be righteous than just right. Frequency up, I can feel it. I know love is the realest. I'ma stand on business. I'm with the tribe to the finish. Facts. Heart chakra energy, that's what I stand on. Bluetooth the most high with no headphones. I am so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah, I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah, I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine.
Me and Spirit signed the NDA. on my DNA. Ain't no telling what I'm really finna go and activate. When I look into the spectrum of my vessel, I can feel the source palpitate. Seeing into all realities, I've been really seeing I want other grace. I'm so grateful for my God body, even though it's still holographic fake. I can do a mudra in the sun while it's speaking to me, talking about my fate. I'm staring away from me while the spirit is showing the way for me. Told me I'm the go key to the gate. I meditate to go speak to like A for me. They all say that we ain't home, but we made from the same source. I don't know if you ain't noticed. Eye by eye with my eyes, so I stay tunnel vibes with my vision focused. Used to be a rug rat watching Chuck E. Cheese. Laughter really is the token. Love is the doorway. I've been off the hinges while my heart shortcuts stay open. I know I'm just like E.T. How I'm always staying on my point. My Merkaba don't beep beep, but it's sending off my neural tones. But you might hear a beep beep when I'm raw running to my home planet. Then my body vanishes into pure ether. Now I see life from
I am
omnivantage.
so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah. I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine. I have no fear for the enemy. I never die cause I'm energy. Yeah. I am so divine. Every time I get grounded, I talk to trees. Peace, wholeness, all of me. I am so divine.
Man, once again, much gratitude to Adama. Much gratitude to y'all, to the family for pulling up. You know, we are here. Like we all know, this ain't necessarily the new year, but we definitely understand the power of numbers, and we align with the 7 energy. So have a blissful, liberating and a year, and know that liberation is within.
Yep.
All the work is within that we got to put in. You know what I'm saying? And this year is a magical year. And when I say magical, I mean by get ready for things that you think are impossible to happen, you know, through your work. You know, so let's get it, family. This was definitely inspiring. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to get to our purpose. You know what I'm saying? Adama really put that energy on you, that purpose-driven energy. So let's get it, family. Like, no more sitting back. You know what I mean?
Sure. Peace, family.
I say.
No excuses. Let's get it.
No excuses. No excuses.
That's how I feel right now.
Lit. Yeah, so we'll tap in with y'all next Sunday, family. You already know the vibes here every Sunday at 5:55 p.m. PST. Big energy.
My third eye's open. I can see past the commotion. I can't get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. High dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open. I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. High dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guy done been through enough, I would say. Energy different, the frequency change. My third eye is open, I don't see the same. I am not playing, I don't rap in the game. I am my affirmation manifest.